me a heartbeat, buddy. Come on. Nothing. Shit. Oh, that's going to be the first thing that YouTube hears probably. That's going to be the first word of the video. Let's go with, let's see if YouTube is with us. Come on. Yes, they're here. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome to the stream. You don't get to see the first part because of your silly rules over there. We're not allowed to stream the first 5 minutes of this stream. But anyway, today we're streaming, or we're going to do a scenario, fictional scenario that I created for today about the current events that are going on in Venezuela. So we were given a quick history lesson, just going back to 2020, nothing before that, because Venezuela's history is actually very interesting. It's wild. Like if you go back to the days of the pirates and the buccaneers and the Spanish treasure ships coming out of South America, it was freaking awesome. Anyway, we're not doing that today. We're going back to 2020, and we're going to talk about Mendonezo, which I thought was a drug company, but apparently it's a president or a prime minister or whatever they have down there, a king in Venezuela. Venezuela's right here, folks. That's what all this garbage is right here. That's Venezuela. Over here is Colombia. Colombia's kind of weird because we usually have good relationships with Colombia, but they're also in the drug business too. But today we're picking on Venezuela. To the right of Venezuela, where you see the blue units here, that's Guyana. That's the other side of Venezuela. So Venezuela is sandwiched between two nations that have friendly relations with the United States. So, but let's talk about 2020 real quick. Let's go back 5 years, a little history lesson to give some context as to what the hell is causing today's action in real life, not in this video game, to happen. So a New York court, there was charges filed, let's put it this way, by then President Trump right before he got out of office in 2020 in a New York courtroom that indicted the president of Venezuela for being a narco terrorist or narco terrorism charges, and then a laundry list of other things that go along with that. So it designated him as a criminal, and along with that there was evidence, and this hasn't been tried yet, so you can't say it's accurate or not, but there's evidence that there was some corruption, some ballot stuffing, if you will, with the election for his current reign, his current rule. So there's some question as to whether or not that was a regular election or if it was rigged. The jury's out on that because it has the trial hasn't happened yet. But no, he hasn't been to trial in New York City because he's the president of Venezuela and ain't nobody got him yet. There is a 50, I want to say billion with a B. There's a lot of money for the capture or assistance in the capture of Maduro, the president of Venezuela. Right now, they just upped that number to something ridiculous, like $50 billion. Yeah. Wild stuff. So what's happened in the past 4 years? Well, that was a time in Americans' history that we're probably all going to want to forget because the president of the time sure as hell doesn't remember. But we have a president again, and now we're continuing where we left off in 2020. And we're going to go down, we're going to get his ass. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. Now, the operation that is happening or being set up right now, it's in progress, and I'm about to go over that in a second, doesn't even have a name yet. And ironically, or concerning to me, is it doesn't have rules of engagement yet. Whenever you have an operation, it's given a name, you have rules of engagement. All that stuff is still literally in the executive office of the White House. So I hope to God they've got rules of engagement already. They just haven't released them yet. And it's not like they always release them to the public anyway, but at least give them to the freaking operational commanders on the scene, right? That hasn't happened yet. That is an anomaly. Usually before this stuff even starts to happen, operation name is selected, rules of engagement are in stone, so nothing crazy happens. There's like no prep work that we're aware of. Obviously, we're not aware of everything, but it is concerning to me that we're kind of putting the cart before the horse by pushing the cart or the horse out the barn without anywhere to go or what to do when he gets to wherever he's going. That's kind of where we sit right now with the Iwo Jima. That's a WASP-class marine carrier with a couple amphib ships with them. And we're going to simulate that today too. So they're on their way right now. The Iwo Jima left Norfolk this morning. That's where she is right now. On station right now is a couple of Arleigh Burke-class destroyers, 3 of them. There's an LCS and an unnamed submarine that I'm absolutely guessing the position of because nobody knows. But I know where I would put her, and that's what we're going to do today. And we're also going to measure, since the Iwo Jima just left port, we are going to measure the rough location here. And I'm just going to do a, so it's 1,300 miles plus, we're going to do another one. Probably 1,500 miles, right? We'll call it 1,600 miles. So, you know, if we're going to let's bring out the calculator. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this on a napkin quickly. So if we just divide that, what the hell's this? No. Okay. Sorry, people texted me while I'm streaming. Stop doing that. I know some of you know my phone number. Leave me alone. Okay, 1,600. That freaks my wife out too, so please don't do that. Okay, and then we're going to divide it by her speed of advance, which I'm not going to tell you what it is, none of your damn business, but I'm going to tell you how long it's going to take her to get there. So 80 hours. So it's what, 3 days? A little bit more than 3 days. So by we'll say Thursday morning, because sea state and things you got to do along the way. And they could also take this route, you know, be a little bit shorter. The reason why you don't want to go through there is a lot of fucking cruise ships. Pardon my French. Sorry. Sometimes I just drop the F-bomb for no reason. Like that, you know. So, yeah, typically if you're not going to Puerto Rico, there's a lot of shipping in this entire area, but I would go through the straits there. There's a name for that gap. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. Anyway, we're thinking Thursday morning at the earliest, with a reasonable speed of advance down there. So what are they going to do whenever Thursday happens? I'll probably do an update Thursday morning. I can see that happening. And today's going to be kind of different stream, because today we're going to talk about what I want to know what you guys think. We have a lot of military background people on Twitter, especially, also on YouTube and other channels. But my Twitter audience tends to be the more military background professional audience that is consistently here anyway. And so I want to know what you guys think is going to happen, and we're going to talk about that as well. So this scenario that I created for Thursday, because I've already got the Iwo Jima on the map here. So this is Thursday morning. Imagine that. Okay. Now I'm limited by this video game to 1991. So I'm using units from 1991 with a couple mods installed to give me the best performance for the ships that I have. And I've broken up our assets into three different positions essentially. So Hammer 1 right here is 2 Arleigh Burkes. No, it's an Arleigh Burke, and in reality it's an LCS, but I'm substituting the LCS for the Perry, because I have to use units from back then. LCS didn't exist in 1991, so I got to use this to simulate the LCS. The Perry actually more powerful than the LCS is, but they have 2 different missions, so let's not hold that against them. The second one we have is 688 class. This is actually a Virginia class in reality. Down here, San Juan is going to be providing support. And then we have Crayola Prime. This is the Marine Corps right here on their little amphib ship, Wasp class. This one is not. This is the one before that class. But the Iwo Jima is going to be on site, and she's going to be escorted by an additional, if we can click on it, Arleigh Burke up here. Yeah. So 2 Arleigh Burkes are with the Iwo Jima. 1 Arleigh Burke is over there with the Perry. And then we got a couple amphib ships with them here in the back. Now, because we don't know the rules of engagement, we don't even know what the scope of the operation is. All we can go off of is what the president has said he wants to accomplish. And there are 2 goals here. Stop the trafficking of narcotics out of Venezuela. That's the first goal. That's the primary goal, by the way. You would think the $500 or $50 billion for the president would be one, the military doesn't get that money. That's only if somebody like in his inner circle gives him up to us, which hasn't happened yet. So probably not going to happen. So that's the secondary objective, is maybe, you know, we get the president, maybe we don't. We're not going to simulate that today, because that's very complicated to try and simulate. But something that you may not know was in 2022. So we know who was in charge back then. The White House authorized Chevron to assist Venezuela with pumping oil again, because when Venezuela, whenever Maduro came into power many years ago, he nationalized all of the oil fields and the oil rigs that were on that. There's a lot of details about that. The oil rigs like BP, British Petroleum, was in the vicinity back then running some of that stuff. They were allowed to continue to operate, make a profit, and then obviously share that profit with Venezuela because it's Venezuelan oil. There is a similar agreement now with Venezuela for 2 oil rigs. So one of the 2 oil rigs, I know the location of. I put it in the game. We're going to find it, and we're going to try and observe it. And then if we need to, board it and save the American Chevron employees that are operating it, if that's what they need. Down here in Guyana, we have a small airfield called Guy Fawkes. Now, those of you that know how CIA names work, you may find that pretty funny. The rest of you that have no idea what I'm talking about think it's a V for Vendetta reference, and it's not. But I'm not going to tell you why I called it Guy Fawkes. It's an inside joke. You either get it or you don't. So, when was this? When did this happen? 2023. We're moving through the timeline here, right? So 2022, Chevron's allowed to help Venezuela operate 2 oil platforms. 2023, Guyana gets very concerned, and there's a border right here that goes north and south between Venezuela and Guyana. Venezuela threatens to annex territory in Guyana because there's a lot of oil in this area right here where my cursor's at. So Guyana's asking for help because their military is basically a police force, right? They really don't have much of a military. It's not a dig at them. They don't need one, right? So they call up, on the dial, they get on the phone to America and be like, hey, we need some help down here. And we assist them. Part of that assistance is, of course, Central Intelligence. So we set up a number of sites there to monitor the border so that if an incursion does happen, we'll know what's happening and can react accordingly. One of the sites is a small airfield that we're going to use in the game today that I call Guy Fawkes. And I'm not explaining that name. Okay. Also, as a little treat, we also have the SE or the ES-3A, which is an S-3 Viking that was converted into a spy plane. Yeah. This thing only operated in the 90s. So for about 8 or 9 years, we had probably less than a squadron, but I'll say a squadron of these planes that were able to work with the U.S. Navy. They operated in Bosnia too, by the way. So they operated all over the globe. But these 2 are operated by the CIA. And they're going to be providing intel for us from the Guyana side of the border looking into Venezuela. Tell me if I'm giving away too much. Okay, this is what I think is going to happen on Thursday. This is my version of what I think is going to happen beginning Thursday. There's some locations I know exist. And this is the type of help that we can do with them. And I just want to say this up front. There is not enough assets. There's not enough Marines, as tough as those hombres are, to do any kind of landing. So you guys can get that crap out of your head right now. There's not going to be an amphibious landing in Venezuela without a hell of a lot more Marines. Okay, and the Air Force. We're going to have some top cover here. One of my main concerns is we ain't got any airplanes. Like, we got a couple Harriers. Now they use the F-35 VTOL variant, of course. Great aircraft, but they got like 8 of them. 6 maybe. It's not many. Yeah. It's not many at all. And then the amphib ships that are accompanying them right here, these guys have the Ospreys in reality. In this game, we don't even have Ospreys. Those are the twin whirlybird things that go up. Sometimes they crash a lot. Anyway, but when they're not crashing, there are ferrying Marines around. All right, let's go ahead and get started here, or else we're going to be here all day talking about the little scenario I set up. So the goal is to stop narco traffic coming out of Venezuela. It is not to attack any Venezuelan military. We're going to go into Venezuelan airspace. And do you know what Venezuela's going to do about it? Not a goddamn thing. They're going to watch us. They're going to keep their planes on the ground. They're going to turn their radars on. They do operate S-300, by the way. Yeah, I got a couple sites of those in this game too. But they're not going to mess with the United States as we fly into the eastern side of Venezuela Friday morning. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see whenever that actually starts happening. All right. So game's unpaused. We're going to start with our little CIA flight and we're going to break it apart. We are going to separate Shadow 2 from Shadow 1. There it is. Formation. I was on it. Yep. Leave formation. because we want the way the ES3s worked. I can talk about this now because these planes no longer exist. They worked in pairs. So this is a very interesting method that they have here. And what we'll do to demonstrate how they worked in pairs is we're going to send one up this way, and at a right angle, we're going to send the second one into actual Venezuela. And they're going to receive radar emissions, and we're going to triangulate, bearing cross, the approximate location of a lot of radars. That's what a lot of these X's are right here. These are some sort of radar emission that we're getting just the, a faint amount of. So we're going to go ahead and start investigating these, identify them. For this scenario, we have 3 goals. Along with stopping the trafficking out of Venezuela. We also have find where the trafficking is coming from. So there's going to be an airstrip. It's somewhere on the eastern side of Venezuela. There is going to be, along with that, some form of storage where the goods are collected, the drugs are collected, and then they're loaded onto planes. That's probably near the airport. So we're going to find those 2 locations. And then finally, the third goal for us to be successful today is to find the production facilities in the eastern half of Venezuela. We must do this in this scenario without engaging any Venezuelan military or militia. We don't want to start a big war over this. We're there for drug enforcement. Now, that just perked up a lot of ears for those of you that know how drug enforcement works. In peacetime, which is obviously where we are, drug enforcement is done by the Coast Guard or a law enforcement agency, not the U.S. military. This is part of what I'm concerned about with this operation beginning as early as Thursday down there, is what the hell are we going to do? If we're going to use the military, we got to declare war, or at least make a statement saying, hey, we're starting an operation, a military special operation, whatever you want to call it. Or else that's really illegal. I mean, we'll be on the wrong side if we start using our military to police drugs in another country's territory. And I don't think we're going to do that. I think there's going to be, between now and Friday, be some kind of organization to this, to what's happening right now. Okay, along with this, for our rules of engagement for this scenario is to say 55 miles away from Caracas, the capital here. They definitely have an S-300 there, and that's roughly the effective range of that missile. There's a lot of variance to that missile, so that does vary, but I'm using 55 nautical miles as a no-go zone for any aircraft right there. And this is essentially going to extend south. So we're not going to cross this line once we're in country. We're going to stay east of this position no matter what. These will be exclusion zones, or what they're called. And this is a very real thing that will be in place once they have rules of engagement. So basically we're going to go, I don't have any lines on the map, but I'm guessing where the border is. It's right about there maybe. So we're not going to cross that line. That's the line of no-go. So whatever the hell's over here, we'll probably never know. We know that this is a city. That's the capital. And here we got probably a fishing fleet right here. This whole area is full of pleasure craft, support vessels that go into and from the oil fields, and then some drug runners. We're going to get the drug runners. This is the power of having a submarine. We can take a look at the narrowband signature of these boats because it's very specific as to what the drug runners. I'm going to be careful about this. Let's just say that we know what a drug running boat. There's lots of indications. Yeah. We'll just leave it at that. All right, let's get some assets airborne. I almost overstepped that one. Ugh, yeah. I almost got a phone call right there. Oh shit. I'm in so much trouble. Yeah. Listen, I should get some points for that name, okay? Leave me alone. That's funny, you know it. Okay, so we got some drug runners right here. That's classified by the submarine. We have an unknown aircraft. We're going to get on the horn with him, ask him who he is. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, let's get on the horn with this guy. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of civilian air traffic. And if it's military air traffic too, we cannot engage it. We're not here to start a war with Venezuela. We're here to stop the drug trafficking coming out of Venezuela. Check on our buddies at the oil field. Make sure they're okay. And use our CIA assets to locate and destroy production, transportation, storage facilities in eastern, I almost said Afghanistan, Venezuela. Is it November 5th? Oh my God, great question. No, but I get the reference, sir. I do. That's so good. I have this caffeine drink. I don't even know what they put in it, but it's wow. That's awesome. Hey, we got a contestant. All right, let's get some aircraft up here. So we went ahead and forward deployed a small number of aircraft in this small airfield here. Got a couple Harriers. Obviously, for modern purposes, these would be F-35s, VTOLs. Yeah. But I got to use what the game gives me, guys. Well, there's probably a mod for an F-35. I probably should have checked for that. I didn't. I wanted to get the semi-submersible drug runner. That would have been great. That seems to be their primary mode of transportation on the water. No, I can't say primary, but okay. So let me back up. For those of you that don't know me, I did drug ops on a submarine in the early 2000s near Colombia and Venezuela back in the day. So I have some experience with how these things go. And so I used that experience from way, way, way back then, so not recent, to kind of help me put assets in place and the type of assets we put in place. So for instance, do we have a class on this? We don't. Until we get a classification from our sonarman here on the San Juan, I'm not going to be able to show you this unit, but we do know that he's going 44 knots. We called this go fast. I would probably say that the go fast is the primary way of getting drugs from Venezuela or Colombia. Remember, Colombia's got a drug problem too. This is not limited to Venezuela. They just throw it in the go fast and they haul ass as fast as they can. They've got, 5 outboard engines on the back of this thing, a ton of extra gas cans, of course, and then the rest is all drugs up in the bow. And it's like a cigar boat, long nose boat. And it just hauls butt as fast as it can. Like if it gets detected, it kind of doesn't care because it can outrun most things. It can't outrun a helicopter, though, I'll tell you that. And so it tries to just drive, like if it's in Colombia over here, to Panama. They just try to bridge this because once they're in the jungles of Panama, it's a lot easier for them to get it to a plane and then fly it up to Bahamas or something like that, right? So they got to do the short hop to get it out of country first and then get it to a country that the Americans are not as heavily involved in as, say, the Colombia. We work with Colombia a lot for drug ops. Now we're working apparently in Venezuela, against their wishes. I don't know. I guess we're just going to do it, which is wild. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we got this Harrier. Okay. We're going to take Harry. We're going to bring him down here. That's where he's going. Where's my other guy at? All right, Spade 1-1. We got to figure out who this guy is. Let's get you up to 6,000 feet. We know he's hostile. He's only doing 174 knots. This is probably a little single-engine propeller plane moving product. And you know what? He either came from or is going to a narco airstrip. So we have our first clue as to where to search for these at least the airstrip side. And remember, the storage is probably near the airstrip. Probably doesn't have to be, but we're going to mark his bearing line, and we're going to search. Yeah, that's about the border. Somewhere between here and the water is probably an airport. So we are going to do that. Let's move you here. I don't want to violate this line. This is the exclusion zone line. We don't want to go on the other side of that. Let's just extend this down. There we go. That's the no-go. I wish I could change colors on these. Is there a color tool? No. Okay, let's not get too fancy. All right. Let's go ahead and get some assets up in the air. Let's take a look at what we have at our little secret base here. All right, we got, oh yeah, we got a couple. All right, let's get another group. Let's do this. Do we want to do strike? No, we want to do air. Let's get air superiority first. Let's do that. So let's just finish launching the second pair. And we're going to get some helicopters up in the air too. A couple of these Cobras. So today I suppose these would probably be Apaches. Or no, the Marine Corps still uses the old Cobra, don't they? Yeah. So that's still accurate, I guess. If you want to stay on theme with the Marine Corps. Okay, we're going to get 4 of them. All the entire flight of 4. Get those guys airborne. All right, so we have a lot of unknown contacts. We're going to go start putting eyeballs on them. Oh, wow, this guy's trying to run by us. Who is he? We may not be able to get him. Yeah. All right, let's get some more air assets up so we don't have any more leakers get through. We're probably going to lose points. If that's a drug runner, we're going to lose points on that one. That's okay. That's okay. We will make up for it in the aggregate. That's how we'll do that. All right. I'm going to also set a flight of Harriers to look for this oil refinery. Now, in reality, we could just call up Chevron headquarters and be like, hey, where's the oil refinery? These things are mobile, by the way. They don't stay there forever. You can move them around. They get towed, right? It's not like they got engines or anything, but they can float. Well, they do float. They just have these sea anchors at the bottom, very ballast, essentially, seawater ballast, to keep them stable. But an oil rig is floating, and then if it's drilling, it's floating with a pipe going down into the ground, hundreds, thousands of feet, all the way down. And so we would probably have the actual location of these oil rigs. Plus, we could always just look at our satellites and be like, there it is. But in this video game, we don't have all those tools. So we're going to play the game just for the fun of it. I'm going to put out a flight of 2. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, pretty cool. These guys are very ready to go break things ashore. We're going to... I'm trying to think of what kind of weapons do we want to put on it. Like, we probably should have some air-to-air weapons, I'm thinking, just to play it safe. Because what if you run into some problem along the way? You don't want to have a bunch of bombs and no way to defend yourself. So even though we're not going to engage the Venezuelan military, and we know they sure as hell ain't going to be engaging us, we should be fine. We're not going to assume that. We're not going to assume that. I should mention, because I know somebody in chat's going to mention, maybe it's already been mentioned. I don't know. I don't read chat. That's true. I know there's a lot of news media coming out of Venezuela this morning that they are enlisting a lot of militia, which are civilians, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, into the Venezuelan militia to defend the president against whatever it is the Americans are doing, right? They know that we're coming. They just don't know what we're going to do because that hasn't been announced other than stop the drug traffic, right? But the president of Venezuela knows that he's got this huge bounty on his head. So he knows that he's game. He's a target. And so that's coming out. Now, I've also seen, obviously, the opposite side of that. I saw a video of a guy supposedly in Venezuela. I couldn't verify this. He just claimed to be in Venezuela with a big American flag on a pole over his shoulder like he was going hiking, walking up and down the beach to welcome the U.S. Marine Corps. So it could all be baloney. I don't know. But just know that the propaganda machine on both sides of this issue is in full steam ahead right now down there in Venezuela. Both sides are putting out their side of the story. Hey, we found something. What is that? All right, let's move our boys a little bit closer. These guys are not radiating anything. How do we know what they are? Oh, we have a little surface search radar on our VQ-5 airplane here. So let's get a little bit closer, see if we can figure out what that is. Well, let's get Spade 3 and all of our little Cobra helicopters that have very limited flight time. Let's get them going in the right direction. Spade 3, spade 3, spade 3. There you are. Okay, let's make sure these guys are up in the air. Ah, look how beautiful that is. Isn't that great? Venezuela's a beautiful country. All right, so we're going to get these guys going. These guys don't have any air to ground, so, but they're faster than a helicopter. So I'm going to get them going in this direction. We're going to figure out who this is. Let's get our helicopters out there as well. So the helicopters in this game right now, I don't know if they're going to change this. They don't really form into a flight like the fixed wing does. If there's a way to put them into a flight, I don't know. But there it is. This is what we got here. We got Marine Corps, Cobra. I think now they use something called the Sea Cobra. I'm not sure what the difference is. You guys in chat can correct me. I'm going off memory of decades ago, so everything I'm saying could be way wrong. Whenever it comes to units and stuff like that, yeah. Hey, there he is. He's spinning up. I don't know how we got trees to grow through the parking area, but I do appreciate the shade. It was probably, I don't know if you all seen the movie Mr. Roberts, but the captain of that little supply ship in Mr. Roberts, he had this little palm tree that he was awarded as a gift for doing a good job supplying the fleet. Yeah, yeah. It's a good movie. You should watch it, Mr. Roberts. Yeah, yeah. Ensign Pulver's the sequel. Not as good. The first one, really funny. And it's also a lesson in leadership, too, if you want to take a serious look at it. Oh, crap. Don't hit the tree. It's a very important tree. It's what keeps our mechanics cool in the afternoon, man. Okay. All right, so let's get him. Uh-oh. Why are you doing that? Hold on a second. Okay. He was trying to fly back to base. He was trying to fly back to the boat. No, my friend. We're going to come over here and we're going to see what this is. Maybe put some more heads on it. All right, Spade Flight 1. How are we being outrun by a freaking Beechcraft? Come on, guys. Does this thing not go? The good Lord gave you 2 engines. Use them. Or is it 1? It might be 1 engine, actually. Yeah, it's just 2 windlass is all that is. Yeah. Man. You guys got to go to the gym. Yeah, I love giving the Harriers a hard time. Hey, there it is. How's it going, John? It's good to see you, my friend. Yeah. Flight deck. Let's see. Yeah, we're not going to be torpedoing any go fast. No. I mean, listen, there's no reason why you couldn't, but that's ridiculous. A go fast is literally, it's a personal boat. Like if you live in Miami, you see them coming in and out all the time. It's basically, it's almost like a cigarette boat, right? Oh, look at these guys up here just wasting fuel. Stop doing that. Hold on. All right. What did I say? Okay, one of these guys is going to come down here, and we're going to look for an oil rig. What's the other guy going to do? Oh, yeah, we got to identify. Oh. Who's this? We have a lot of aircraft while I was yammering on about things. Okay, those are 2 airliners. Stand down. No reason to get all... Oh, there's a Tiger flight right there. Why don't we... I might have to use this Tiger flight. I might have to intercept this stupid... whatever this guy is. He's really slow, but he's outrunning my Harrier. Oh, Lord. Or he's not really outrunning. He's got such a head start, my Harrier just can't catch him. Yeah, same thing, right? Effectively. All right, let's go with Tiger 1, and let's get him to classifying. I need you to get down on the deck. Like you would think from this altitude you could look down and classify a boat. Not always. You want to get him down like 500 feet. And then, as he flies close, make sure we still have the wing selected. We do. Or the flight selected. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, yeah. Pretty. I don't know. I'm not a fan of the performance of the Harrier. But I am a fan of how ugly it is because it just makes me want to like it. That's an ugly-ass plane. Now, those are fighting words for some of you, so calm down. I'm just joking, okay? Easy there. You guys are like, unsubscribe. No. All right, what else we got? So I'm thinking after we find the oil rig, we're going to take our big-ass Chinook helicopters here. We're going to fill it full of very angry Marines and half a set of crayons. and get them going in that direction. We're going to try and do an airborne, I guess it would be an airborne raid on an oil rig. We're going to see if that works for us. All right. Who's over here? Let's make sure we got some radars on for one. All right. So we got a helicopter taking off from the Perry there. We're going to get him out here. Actually, this helicopter's got a radar. Yeah. Hold on. Let's turn that on. Fictional 80. Why is it fictional? Not sure what's fictional about this helicopter, but okay. We did have helicopters in 1989, I swear. It might be the radar it has, might be fictional. I don't know. Either way. And we're going to, because he's using his radar, we do want him up at like 3,000 feet or something to get a little more horizon range with that. And we're going to search this area here. Remember, we have this exclusion zone around Caracas. We can't go within 55 miles. So, like whoever these chuckleheads are, we can't go in there and look at them. If they stay in that bubble, then they're safe. Oh, wow. Okay, so hey, we got visual on this fishing boat. So I had to use the in-game model for a fishing boat. It looks like a shrimp trawler. Bubble gump's on it. Sorry, but so is a bunch of cocaine, and that's why this is a target for us. So we're gonna light this thing up. Let's go and get some rounds on target here. This is what we're doing today. You want to know what we're doing? We're doing this. We're doing 30 millimeter. We're doing 30 Mike. Oh, those are expensive. Bring those back. We're so broke right now as a military, we can't afford to be jettisoning our fuel tanks, guys. We got to hold on to those things. Bring them back. Apparently cocaine explodes. The more you know. Okay, moving on to the next fisherman. Let's eyeball this one. Like all these fishermen are like, hey, Juan just blew up. Start chucking the cocaine overboard. That's what they do. Once they know they're caught, they start chucking that stuff. Like, oh, we're going to get to them with no cocaine and be like, where's the cocaine at? There's like a whole trail of white bags behind us, or the blocks, Yeah. Must not be any cocaine around here if it's just gone. That's not how we operate. Yeah. All right, this is Tigger 5-1. Let's get him down to 50 feet. How about 200 so he doesn't crash? And we're going to start identifying this fishing fleet. I suspect all of these are fishing boats, but if any of them are fishing boats with a little something extra, if you know what I mean, we'll take care of them. Coke Sharks, yeah. That would be a great movie. Cocaine Shark, like Cocaine Bear. It could be the sequel to Cocaine Bear. Cocaine Shark. Someone in chat's going to tell me that's already happened, and I'm not going to believe you. Yeah. All right. So here's Tiger. This guy's looking for an oil rig. Now, you'd think you'd be able to see an oil rig from 2,000 feet in the air, right? Nope. Well, maybe. Let's go down to 1,000 feet just so we're sure we can see this big-ass oil rig that is somewhere between here and the edge of, what do you call it? Venezuela. Venezuela goes all the way to there. This is Trinidad over here. This little island is Tortuga. Isle de la Tortuga. I think that's actually part of Venezuela, but you guys can correct me on that if you want. I'm not a geography major. Ooh, spade flight. Uh-oh. So this guy's inside the no-go zone, so we're going to have to be careful with him. All right, spade flight 1. Cut him off if you can. What's his altitude? He's at 3,000 feet. What are we at? We're at 6,000. We do want to be above him, so that's not bad. I want to get eyeballs on him. We know he's hostile. We know he's a drug runner. It's probably like Tom Cruise in his little Beechcraft or something. All right, let's get shadow flight. Yeah, I just want to make darn sure they don't go across that line, so I'm going to have him go up here and then come back. So these two ES3s, it's hard for me to remember that. They work together. They'll be on the horn with each other, and they're going to be comparing bearings to radar emissions. And so, well, because they're in line with each other right now, anything that's in this area wouldn't really work out for them. But anything up here, like this location, if it has a radar, and apparently it does, we can see it right there. That's why we know that position to that level of accuracy. What's this? All right, we got us an installation, boys. Let's quickly go over to this flight right here. Now, apparently they have eyeballs on this right now. All right, so we found, if there's no airfield, it's probably the production facilities. And there could be lots of production facilities, but yeah, you can see them on the horizon now. Excellent. So we have no air to ground. So we're going to establish cap overhead. They might have small arms. We wouldn't expect the cartel to have any kind of surface air artillery, or probably not stingers either, but we're not going to assume that. So we're going to come up to about, let's just make it 10,000 feet, the entire flight, just to give us a little buffer between us and them. So this is Spade 3. And if they do take a shot at us, we'll at least see it coming. So I'm going to have them loiter over these two facilities, and then we're going to bring in the helicopters and level them. There we go. We'll set up an orbit right there. I don't see any defenses, and you wouldn't expect there to be anti-aircraft defenses for a cartel. They certainly will have small arms, of course, but nothing larger than that. Now, the Venezuelan military is a completely different story. They have S-300s. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and I want to eyeball it. He just wants to shoot it down, so let's do that. Let's break off your wingman with one. Oh, they're dropping tanks as well. Oh, shit. All right, take that, Tom Cruise. He gone. Rip Mission Impossible 8. Or 9, whichever one's next. What else we got? This guy's going parallel to our exclusion zone, so I think what we'll do is we'll keep Spade 1. Let's move him up to 10,000 feet for fuel reasons. We'll just keep him loitering right here. So if there's any more, if this is a traffic area, like a corridor, another one will come along eventually, and we'll just snap him up. All right, so we have our helicopters. These guys are going to come over here and ruin these guys' day. We'll also, let's get a couple of Harriers up with some dumb bombs. We'll use the Tigers. We'll do 2's probably enough, but we'll do all 4. And we'll do a strike, which should be a couple of dumb Mark 82s. It is. Excellent. Launch. All right, so we'll do an airstrike and follow it up with helicopter gunfire for any leakers, any stragglers. And that should be the production facility. Oh, shoot. Oh, look at this up here. So we have a lot of fishing boats. Oh, these are the speedboats. Yeah. So right here, let's take a look at this. Now, again, this is the in-game model. But these, we would call these go fast because they went fast. They were small. They didn't look exactly like this. They didn't have any windows, usually. It was usually just a souped up civilian boat. And they would have 4 to 5 outboard motors in the back. If they had inboard, that was great. It just made more room for more outboards. As many outboards as they could stick on the back of the dumb thing, crank them up to 11, and just go. And they'd get some really high speeds, man. They haul ass. And the whole tactic was just to outrun the Coast Guard or whoever else may detect them, because, yeah, the Coast Guard's probably faster, or at least very near the same speed plus 2 or 3 knots. But if you only have a 3-knot closing advantage and the guy's more than, 6 miles away, he's got that lead, right? Well, he can get to wherever he's going in the time it takes for you to close those 6 miles. Unless you're in a helicopter. Right? That's a whole different story. But that's the thinking behind this. Now, they don't always run in packs. I've seen both in real life. So, but yeah, let's get some gunfire on these knuckleheads. How about that? This is gonna be fun. Let's use 30 millimeter, and let's watch the Hey, all right, we're taking that out of your pay. That's gonna float up on some beach, and the kids are gonna turn them into canoes. Copy shack. I guess this isn't a shack. You know what I mean. It blew up. He's still red. Keep firing. I wonder if the red means he's on fire. That might be that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's do another one. Switch targets. Oh shit. We got a drug airplane overhead that just popped up, so we're gonna divert. Yep. Whoa. He's turning and burning. Bye-bye. Okay, next. This is how this is going to go, folks. Yeah. This is why the Venezuelan doesn't want nothing to do with the Marine Corps. And the Marines will be using F-35s. Much better. That's not even arguable. This is much better. So yeah, I really expect to talk about Friday morning, like when this could really start happening, if it does. Nothing may happen, by the way. We may just go down there and do swim call off the coast of Venezuela for 3 months, right? Until it gets cold. Doesn't get that cold in Venezuela either. Anyway, yeah, nothing is always an option, right? You never know. This guy already took out his target. All right, you got 20 rounds. Put him on this guy. He's got 1 burst left. They should mod some do-it-yourself. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Death Gun. I really want a mod for those semi-submersible cocaine submarines so we could do scenarios like this a little more realistic. I've done what I could with the units I had. I did install, like that, the Go Fast we just saw. This Go Fast here we're about to shoot. This is a mod. Yeah, the unit is in the game. It doesn't do 40 knots. So a mod maker made it do 40 knots. God bless him. It's true American right there. All right, so we're Winchester on guns. All we got's a couple of AIM-9s. These guys are kind of going into the exclusion zone. We don't want that to happen. So let's do this. I'm going to divert. This is a second set of Harriers, by the way. I know that looks the same. So before these guys get into this exclusion zone, we're going to take them out with him and his wingman, if he's got one. Where's your wingman at? Oh, he's still lollygagging. I'll put the wingman on the other one. So no, the Go Fast won't even have small arms. They won't have any weapons whatsoever, so that when they're caught, they don't get a weapon charge as well. Plus, what are they going to do? Are they going to fight back against the Coast Guard that's, boarding them and arresting them? No. The guys that run the boats are probably like, they're just trying to make money for their family and stuff because, it's a poor economy. I kind of feel bad for them, honestly. I do. They're not the target. That's the big takeaway there. The people that operate the boats and the planes. The target is the vehicle itself. All right, let's get this guy up 6,000 feet. They do still have an air mission to complete. San Juan is here. So San Juan is just going to be conducting spy operations, observation operations. Not going to emit anything. So ESM mast only, periscope only, radio mast whenever they want to do communication. But, you know, we'll spend a long time, and I'm talking about a long time. I don't want to give any specifics. Just like this. Now, you may dip once in a while, but still. That's drug ops. It's boring as hell. It's as exciting as it looks. Yeah. I'm glad I got the experience. I did it in real life. I checked the box. Not exciting. Nobody's going to make a movie about this. Unless it's like, it's going to be one of those put you to sleep YouTube videos, you know. That's about it. All right, so this boat here. Oh, this guy's on fire. Oh, that's bad too. Oh, man. Listen, I don't know where you guys are going to find some water, but you should look really hard and put it on the hot stuff. Yeah, you put the wet stuff on the hot stuff. You got to do that. Or you can just put both hands on the rail. At least he's wearing life vest. That's good. And they got a little life ring over here. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good at all. So we probably don't need to do a follow. We'll just keep an eye on him. Make sure he's okay. Again, the vehicle's the target, not the people. I kind of feel bad for them. All right, what are we doing here? Still only got 2 buildings here. So we're kind of orbiting overhead. I don't see any direct fire. There they go, right below us. So that's a drug production facility. Where's the other one at? There it is. There's one right there. So we're bringing in a second set of Harriers and some helicopters right now. We're going to bomb both of those. We'll use the helicopters to clean up whatever's left, if anything. These things won't be reinforced. These are literally buildings or shacks in the jungle, assembling, using gasoline to prepare. It might even be something like acetone. But anyway, some kind of octane to prep the cocaine. And we're not going to go into how to make cocaine here. That's probably a bad idea. So just know that that's all you're going to get. You have to buy a chemistry book. Because I'm not telling you. Shit. That's a whole different conversation. That's the DEA. Yeah, that's totally different conversation. I'll be like, hold on, guys. I got to talk to the DEA now. I'm sorry. Okay, back to what I was saying. I'm sorry. Yeah. Back and forth to everybody. We're doing a lot of apologizing after this stream, that's for sure. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you guys go watch Clear and Present Danger, that's more than what I've already said about how to make cocaine. It's not that great a movie, to be honest with you, but yeah. It is what it is, right? We really don't need another flight, but I want to get one more air-to-air cap up. Air-to-air, there we go. Oh, not all. Yikes. Launch. That's what I'm going to say. All right, so our helicopter's over here, so I can't go into that exclusion zone with aircraft, but what I can do is drop a passive sonar buoy. Maybe we'll do an active one here too. And we're gonna drop it shallow, so it's above the layer. In this shallow, warm water, you want to be above the layer. A lot of times there won't even be a layer if it's really shallow and it's really warm water. It just goes all the way to the bottom, but there's no sonic layer at all. So we're just gonna put that right there. And so now we can see acoustically into the exclusion zone. Now, granted, he does have a radar on as well, but there could be a submarine. Venezuela does have 2 Type 209 1300 series submarines. Those are old diesel boats made from Germany. Very old, probably not operational. I mean, seriously, they're probably not seaworthy, but Venezuela doesn't throw anything away, apparently. So they're still, like Iran, they're still on the books, on the list of ships, you know. So we have to treat it as if there is a submarine threat, even though I can tell you with good confidence that they're not going to go to sea. And if they do, they sure as hell aren't going to go into a fight. You know, they're just going to go and try not to sink, honestly. Oh, crap. We're missing the fight. Doggone it. Sorry. This guy's how many? You still have 120 rounds. Let's put it on this other dude. I'm going to watch this one. Where's his buddy at? I don't see him. Let's watch it from the boat's perspective. Now imagine them with their hands in the air going, ah, like that. Yeah, that's what those guys are doing. Holy smokes. That's terrifying. That guy gets two little boats to put on his airplane when he gets back. His wingman's probably mad. Oh, they just lost engine power. Yeah, they're not long for this world. How you guys doing? Alonzo's here. Good to see you. Scent's here. Scent is a big-time mod maker. Maybe Scent can do the semi-submersible idea we had. He makes a lot of good mods for this game, like whole scenarios. Yeah. Good stuff. All right, I think he's coming back around if we look to the east. There he is. You see the little airplane right there? Yep. If he's got any rounds left, he'll be turning in hot here in a second. Here he comes. Yeah, he's Winchester. All right, so he's just going to provide some BDA for his wingman. Nothing wrong with that. His wingman's coming in from the southeast, which is going to be right around this, where my cursor's at. Right around here. I don't see him. Oh, there he is, I think. Is that him right there? Nope. There's dirt on my monitors, all that is. There he is. Yeah, that's a 30 millimeter round. It's big. That's a big honking bullet. Oh, and it's sinking now. Yeah, there it goes. That's okay. They brought their orange floaties. The guys are going to be fine. There's going to be a party on the reef tonight, though, with all these speedboats going down. Fish going to have a ball. They're going to be like, what is this stuff? This is great. Be swimming real fast. We're going to end up in Florida. All right, let's go. Oh, crap. We got to do our job. 9mm. I don't even care what classification he is. 9mm. Aim 9. Go on here. Oh, hey, we got classification. Oh, yeah, it's Tom Cruise. Now, I keep saying Tom Cruise. Some of you are probably being confused. He's like, why does he keep calling Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise did this movie. It was actually pretty good, where he flew these little beach craft from somewhere to the Bahamas. Maybe it was from Bahamas into Florida. And he was like a wild man. You know, a very good pilot, of course. You know, Tom Cruise got to be the best. You know. Anyway, it was still a good movie. Does anyone remember what the name of that movie was? Oh, and Matthew McConaughey was in it too. Thank you, Matty D. What was the name of it? I don't remember the name of the movie, but I do remember I saw it a couple times. It's pretty good. I don't think it was like a blockbuster or anything. Nothing as big as like the Mission Impossible movies they make. Now this guy, he'll have no idea, because the Harriers don't have any kind of radar or nothing, and the missile they're about to shoot is heat-seeking. Yeah, this guy's watching his levels. That's all he's doing. All right, here comes the missile. Like, will he even... No, he's not going to see... Oh, there he goes. He saw something. He might have saw the motor. He might have saw the rocket motor. Oh, did he dodge him? This is Tom Cruise. God damn it. Stop dodging my missiles. Why you gotta be so good? Oh, no. There we go. All right, shoot better this time. American Made. Thank you. Yeah, you guys got it. Okay, I recognize it now that you say it, though. Yeah, I like the movie. I recommend it. Let's see how this looks. This is his last. Oh my God, he dodged that one too. This guy's amazing. We should hire this pilot instead of shoot him down, right? We kind of need him in the Marine Corps. Put him in a Harrier. He's good at dodging. What does he got? This guy's got one missile. There's 2 targets. No rounds. Okay. Is he going home? He's going home. Yeah, he's Winchester. This guy's got no rounds. He's got one missile and a dream. Let's see what he says. There's no Matthew McConaughey? Oh, no. Well, then who is the co-star of that? Oh, it's the love interest is the co-star. Yeah, yeah. It's been forever since I saw that movie. American Made we're talking about, folks. Look at these two. They're running a pattern with each other. Huh. Okay. We're playing dodgeball up there. Oh, we got another one too. All right. Hold on. Let's move my... Something I don't like is they put the helicopter right on top of the sonar buoy it just dropped. So you can't really select it unless you really zoom in on it. All right, Benefold. How far can you shoot? Not far enough. How about you? How about over here? How far can you shoot? Oh, yeah, you got him. Okay. Listen, these guys are pretty good, but this is a SM... I want to say SM2, but it might be SM1. Either way, I can reach them. Oh, it's an SM2. Yeah. All right. So, right now, just to bring us back to reality for just a moment, there are 3 of these Arleigh Burkes. Yeah, I think they're already off the coast of Venezuela with an LCS. They're not all 3 together. Where their exact locations are is none of your business or mine. And then there's also a submarine somewhere in the vicinity that nobody knows where the submarine is except the submarine, because that's how submarines operate. Like, whenever, like, the San Juan here, without getting specific, if the San Juan operates here, his box would be like this entire screen, right? In here is a submarine. That's how vague they leave it, even for the like commanders and stuff. Now, if they have to do something specific, they can get narrow, but that wouldn't stay like that. And then it's up to the submarine to figure out the best place to be and then continue his reports. Because remember, his job is to sit here within detection range of anything coming out of the mainland, and keep the antennas up so we can hear the communications and record them, decrypt any kind of crypted communication. Of course, radars, identify them. That's what he's doing. And then, of course, the sonarmen down here are classifying all the different boats that are in the water. There's a lot of boats. Let me tell you what, it's a busy day in sonar. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this guy's coming out of space. All right. Let's see if this works. Freaking Elon Musk here and his missile. Oh, was that movie out in 2017? Man, I thought it was older than that. Either way, I recommend it. Oh, also, and man, I feel bad about this. Good hit, good hit. The other one should hit here in a second. Yep, there he goes. Yeah, didn't dodge those. Those big boy missiles. Okay, in the beginning, we had a song. That's by a singer, goes by the name Warren, as in Warren Jeans. Warren Torn. And I just discovered him this morning, randomly. His whole album is amazing. I recommend Warren Torn. He may have been around and famous for a long time. I didn't know about him before a couple hours ago. So if you're wondering what that music was, I meant to say that at the very beginning, because I always try to give the artist credit, especially whenever we use their music on our streams, you know. Anyway, so sorry, apologies to him for that, for being late, but that's who that was. I recommend him. I subscribed to his YouTube channel, and he has a lot of his songs right there on YouTube. You can listen to him for free, I guess. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, flight deck. Let's go ahead and we have another boat to take out, I think. Hold on. What's the mission? Two more boats. So yeah, let's get if we have any Harriers left. We might have used all the Harriers. We did, but we got Cobras. So let's get 2 Cobras. Close air support. Actually, you know what works best is anti-tank. We're going to shoot a BGM into a small boat, and it's going to work fine. All right, so we got those two guys taken out. We got a sonar buoy in the water just in case there's anything we don't see on radar, and there's not apparently. So we have an armed oil rig. So this oil rig here, this has American workers on it, but it also has Venezuelan military on it. As you can see right there, they have this anti-air gun. So our mission is not to engage the Venezuelan military. So this is a no-go for now. We're going to mark the location and then see what if things escalate, if we get an update to the rules of engagement where we're allowed to go after Venezuela's military, we can then engage these units and get the Chevron workers off that. I explained all that in the beginning. So if you missed the beginning of the stream, I kind of went over the scenario and the rules of engagement. Now, I did say that these oil rigs are mobile. That's only if they're towed, and that takes a long time to set up. So for our purposes here today, this thing is static. So what we'll do is we'll set a cap to make sure that it doesn't get any kind of reinforcements, right? We're going to keep an eye on it, just north of it. What we don't want to do is be between the oil rig that's armed and has weapons and the mainland, where something can come out of an airport or an S-300 maybe, and it would limit our evasion direction. So if we keep the entire threat vector to the south, then we know north is always a good evasion direction. So that's why I'm putting them up there. We also don't want to be so close that gun can get us. The gun probably has a range of 4,000 or 5,000 yards, I'm guessing. So let's put a little circle around it that goes out to 2 miles. Oh, wow. That's very small. Yeah. So just stay outside that. We should be fine. So we're just going to keep an eye on that. Oh, wow. Okay, we're ready to bomb. Let's do this. Oh, you guys are going to love this. Tiger 1. Where's the other flight? Oh, no. Nightmare Flight never got his orders. No. All right, so that's one mistake. If you guys are keeping track, that's one mistake right there. That's okay. There'll be more targets for the Viper flight, which is our helicopters. Okay, let's go to Tiger 1. There he is. I want to break these guys up. Yeah. Let's actually, I'm not going to break the flight up. I'm going to take the 3 Mark 82s and we're going to put it on this shack of huts. And this one here, we'll drop 3 on this one. Honestly, 3 Mark 82s may be all it takes, but we'll watch the attack unfold. And we'll just keep the helicopters in the area for like vehicles and stuff that may be trying to get away. All right, this guy's on a bomb run here. Now you see some glistening. That's probably glass reflecting the sun, and not AA. But I would not expect these to be defended by anything greater than a 7.62 round, rifle, small arms. Which you get, if they get lucky, they can damage an airplane. Right. Well, that woke them up. So there might be some leakers coming out of there, and if there are, that's what we got helicopters for. Nice. All right, so we'll grab this helicopter, have him finish off, have him put some rockets into that building. 76 Hydro rockets. Ideally, we would like to set the buildings on fire, let the fire do the work, because we probably don't have enough ordnance on these helicopters to take a building down, but we can certainly burn it down. So we'll watch this happen while I catch up on chat. He said tally 1. Saki, big sock puppet. Thanks for following. Where was he at? Oh, he's over on the Twitch. Yeah, Twitch is good. I don't normally stream on a Monday. I jokingly called it Wednesday because we normally do Wednesday. But I wasn't sure when this operation in reality was going to kick off. But we did the math on the distance coming out of Norfolk. The Iwo Jima left Norfolk this morning is what I'm told. So it's going to be 4 days to get down to Venezuela. Unless they do some super hyper speed, which would be ridiculous. There's no rush to get down there. And I certainly hope they have an operational rule of engagement set. I can't believe that they would send anyone into an area to conduct a mission without giving them specific rules of engagement. And it doesn't mean that they don't have rules of engagement. I need to make this very clear. Everybody always has rules of engagement. They're called peacetime operations. Yeah. So that's the default. Weapons hold. Weapons tight. Yeah. So, and that's why I said nothing is always an option. If they don't update the rules of engagement, they could go down there and just do swim call. As long as the water's warm. Feed the sharks. No, knowing the Marines would come back with a shark under one arm, being like, "Can I keep him?" Yeah, that's the Marine Corps I know. Those guys are badasses, man. Do not mess with them. They're actually kind of funny. They do have a sense of humor, but don't assume that they're always in a good mood. You know. Yeah. I remember I was at a party and we had Navy Marine Corps together with families, girlfriends. Someone had been drinking and I tripped on like the garden hose because they had that going to the kiddie pool or something. Didn't trip, but I stepped on it kind of awkward. And sure enough, I bump a young private's girlfriend in front of the young private who has to defend his honor. Oh, geez. And I'm not thinking 100%. Yeah. I knew one thing was for sure. I wasn't going to survive that fight. So I was apologizing so damn fast. I was like, sorry, I've been drinking. Can I get you guys something? You know, yeah, that's how that ended. And I lived. I was happy. Yeah. But yeah, I served with a couple Marines for about a year in my career, for 1 calendar year. I was TAD, temporary attached to waterfront security, where they were in charge of the waterfront. Them alongside a civilian contractor. They had different sectors. And we augmented manpower. There we go. We're shooting the rockets into them now. Anyway, so that was my job. And that's how I got to know some of the Marines. And funny guys. Yeah. Very, very quirky. But so are sailors. I mean, yeah. I'm not wagging any fingers. I'm like, join the club, right? That's what I am. Yeah, like I said, those little Hydra rockets against buildings, not the right weapon for that. Yeah. But I am going to put the helicopter over any kind of road. So if vehicles start coming out of this location, we can stop the vehicles. Because this production facility, or this site of buildings here, that one too, is feeding the airplanes we're seeing. So somewhere between here and that airplane track is an airport. We got to find that. And I don't see a road. It would be nice if we had a road. We could just follow the road to the airport. But all I really see is some trails. Nothing paved. So we'll keep these guys on site. See if anything develops here. We do have another flight of Harriers coming in. And they can finish off that building, I think. Where'd they go? Yeah, right there. Nightmare flight. These chuckleheads. Flank speed is best speed. Yeah, darn right. Mop up Monday. That's what we're going to call Mondays. I like that. Yeah, that's good. You guys come up with some good names. Renault, good to see you. Renault's one of our Discord moderators. Hanging out. Discord's been kind of quiet lately because Selvic's working. Selvik is the other Discord moderator, and he I'm not gonna tell his business, but he's doing like 12-hour shift work right now, man. I was like, I feel so bad for him. That's tough. I assume me and Selvik are close to the same age, so I know right now doing 12 hours, I'd struggle with that. Gotta do what you gotta do, though, right? It's a job. All right, so we have our other helicopter here. So I have a helicopter on that side of the building complex, and I got this one on this side. And we're looking south, right? Yeah. So no matter if anything comes out of these buildings, vehicle-wise, we have assets to find it and follow him. I'd love to follow the vehicle to the airport. That would make sense. Or maybe the storage facility, because there are warehouses too somewhere in this jungle. Anyway, so that's the story down there. Oh wow. Okay, we got something here. Let's send our recon plane up to here. Oh, where's our other recon plane at? There he is. I just want to make sure that we're not on the same bearing, right? So I'm going to keep him down here. Yeah, this is actually the best place for him. Remember, you want bearing separation, bearing difference between your two recon planes when they're using their ESM, which is what they're using right now. That's how we know about the radar that's over here. So this is the ES3 Alpha. This is a modified Viking to be an ESM intelligence collection platform, only operated for about 9 years in the U.S. Navy. We lent some to the CIA to operate. These saw real combat, or real deployments, I should say, in Bosnia in the 1990s. That's probably their most famous real-world employment. They had a very short lifespan. Obviously, the Viking was around for many decades as a submarine hunter, which it was pretty good at. And then they had a couple, I don't know how many, but it wasn't a lot, that were modified into this little electronic support measures plane with a couple spooks in the back seats there looking at radar signatures and stuff. It does have a radar too, so. She's not blind. Oh, wow, what's this? All right, so we have 170 knot contact coming in. If I shoot it down inside the exclusion zone, we won't be able to get the goods, if you know what I mean. So we're going to wait for him to come out, and we're going to use our helicopter to get the goods. We're going to try and coordinate a shoot down in the vicinity of our helicopter. This is a very good real-world example of trying to do stuff like this, because you want to get the evidence, right? So let's move him in line with that. We're also going to get him down close to the water so we can see the splash. There he goes. He's going down now. So we got two fishing boats back there. Who's this up here? Oh, our helicopters. I forgot we had launched these. Let's move them up. I think I launched two of them. Yep, there's the second one. Little Cobras. So what I'll do, I'll set him down here. So these guys are just overhead of a... That's the contact right there. It's a speedboat. Looks like they put the fire out and they're not sunk. So good for them. See if I can click on them. Yeah, oh, these two guys, they did a good job. They can't seem to repair the engines, so it's just a sitting duck. We're going to go collect the evidence there. We're going to call that disabling fire. A little play on words there for what we did. So I hope this gives you guys an idea of what I think is going to happen. It's either going to be this or absolutely nothing. One thing that I don't think is going to happen, to reiterate for everybody that's just joining us now, concerning the operation that's going to begin off the coast of Venezuela as early as Thursday, is there will be no landing of Marines on a beach. That ain't happening. We don't have enough assets on site to do that. So what I would love to see, though, is more air assets in theater. Because having the Iwo Jima escorted by some Burks is great for protecting the Marines on the Iwo Jima. It's not good for fighting an air war. You don't want to do that. I don't think that's the intent, but who knows what Venezuela is going to do. My opinion is Venezuela is not going to do a damn thing. They're going to sit down and shut up until the Americans are gone, and then they're going to talk shit again like they always do. But while we're there with the Marine Corps, they're going to be good little boys, is what I think is going to happen. Ooh, what's this? All right, so this is my recon plane. I don't want him going low and slow because I don't want some golden BB to knock this guy out of the sky. This is our I would consider this a high value target because of the information it's collecting for us up here. So we want to get another air asset over here because we may have found the warehouses. And it's close to the flight path of the drug planes. What does Spade 1 have? Does he have any air to ground? He's got some 30 millimeter. So that's just our combat air patrol. Let's get some CAP. Or I mean CAS, close air support. So we're going to take some Harriers. I've only got 2 left. We'll put some bombs on them. And I'll send them up there and we'll bomb whatever that is. We know it's a target. That's all we know. And what do we got here? Oh, Nightmare Flight's over target. So let's select them and finish off this warehouse. So no, it's a production facility. There we go. That's it right there. It's already smoking. We're going to grab the... Uh-oh. I think I grabbed the wrong one. Oh, shoot. Okay. These guys don't have bombs. Whoops. All right, so we have a lot of cap. What is Spade Flight? He's got bombs, maybe? Nope, no bombs. Tiger Flight? Oh, he's got 3 Mark 83s. Let's use him. All right, he's in hot. He's trying to open out some range. He's going to come back in, do a little pop-up bomb maneuver. He'll drop all 3 of these Mark 82 bombs. Look at these things. Oh, so big. He'll drop all 3 of those. I love the little details in this game. Like you can see the little fuse on the nose. They got the right stripes for a war shot. And then all the text. It looks like a JDAM with the fins on the back. I'm not saying it is. It's just that's what it looks like. The JDAM will have a little thing on the nose. It doesn't have that. All right. We'll see how far out he... Oh, there he goes. He's turning around. All right. Let's not lawn dart this thing. Smokes the target. Oh, hey, Captain Rex here. Captain Rex is a fellow military guy. Just retired. Congratulations to him. He was a Canadian. So fun story so far. Was at a local antique dealer site, and they have an inert 60s era Mark 83 practice bomb. I wonder why. I mean, it is kind of cool. I guess I'll give them that. Now, like IRL, these production facilities aren't going to be that fancy. Okay, I'm using the assets the game gives me. I don't want to keep repeating that, but I'm kind of limited as to what I can use. I did my best to mix it up a little bit. All right, so that's the end of that. Let's send some boys home. Tigger Flight, you go home. RTB, baby. Also, the cap that was overhead since the beginning of the game was Spade Flight 3. We'll send them home as well, just to refuel. Something that the Harriers don't have is good endurance. So try to keep them fueled up as much as possible. Where are we at? Orders, there it is. RTB, baby. Orders. Okay, so we have this new flight, Nightmare 1. We don't need him over the site any longer. So we'll put him over this site and move him up to 6,000 feet. So make sure both him and his wingmen are doing it together. They are. Outstanding. Well, now once they get on site, we can relieve Spade 2 to go and rearm. So we basically have an exclusion zone around the armored oil rig until we get updated rules of engagement. Oh, hey, here we go. So now we're going to try and time this interception close to our helicopter. The missile's going to get there in a hurry, so we don't need to lead it too much. We do want to make sure we get a hit, but we don't want to destroy all the cargo. So one missile. Yeah. If I could use guns, I would, but I don't trust... Let's use the 5-inch gun in airburst mode. That's a 76mm gun. That'll work too, actually, but Benefold has the Mark 45 on the bow, has an airburst round, a flak round, essentially. And this plane is at 1,000 feet. That's well within the envelope. Hell yeah. All right, so change of plans. We're going to use the gun. Let's kind of get the boys kind of facing the right direction here. I want as low bearing rate as possible. So we're going to do that. We're also going to slow you down to 5 knots. Get as stable a platform as possible. Give him the best chance to get a hit. What's he called? He's Hammer. Hammer 1. So Hammer's going to set orders to... There we go. Navigate ahead 1/3. Benfold should be changing course. He is, very slowly. Also, I'm going to go ahead and light off all their radars so they have every advantage. Okay, yeah, it's already on. All right, we should see this gun kick off. I'm going to tell it manually to use the gun. So let's... Here it is. Where's the gun at? There it is. 600 rounds. So the reason why I'm using this is that an SM-2 missile will shred this little plane into nothing. There wouldn't be anything left to pick up. So I'm going to try and shoot it down with the gun, hoping that something survives, like the pilot, in the water. We will see. The plane's... We're going to be shooting over the head of our helicopter. We're probably going to have to get a safety brief after that, or maybe we might even have a safety stand down if this goes terribly wrong. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I'm getting excited now. This is fun. This is more fun than it should be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, such a random. I agree, Captain Wrecked. Having that inert practice bomb. Now, I'm just curious, because it was a practice bomb, was it painted blue? The whole thing? Let's see. Just Flop says, you're not much of a 7 Days to Die fan, but usually lurking even on those. Yeah, I know. Our 7 Days to Die people, are we on that channel? No, we're on Sonar and Steel channel right now. And that's another reason why we keep those two channels separate. 7 Days Die is like a whole different crowd. And then we have our military crowd, which is you guys. And there's some crossover, but it's not a lot. Okay. He's entering weapon envelope now. We're going to, once he gets across the line, we're going to click him. And click. Now that little gun should swivel, I would hope. He is speeding up. So, yeah, so the captain or officer of the deck, whoever, OOC, thinks that going 11 knots is best. Probably because of seas. He's got a steady platform. Let's see how close these shells are getting. We'll watch it from the airplane point of view. We should see a little... Oh, how do we not have a classification on him? That's kind of odd. Okay, I can't watch the airplane because we don't have... He's still not classified. I don't know why. I don't want to send my helicopter up there to put eyeballs on him. That would not work out well. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and get off his track. Yeah. Like, this airplane's going to fall out of the sky. We don't want him to fall on top of you. All right, so there you can see the shots going up. Well, maybe not. May not be rendering very well on the stream. Oh, shit. Well, I guess they got tired of using the gun because he just shot an SM-2 at the guy. Oh, Lordy. That's hilarious. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is not going to end well for this plane at all. Yeah. Oh, jeez. I mean, I did give him the option, so commander's choice, right? Let's go pick him up. What's left of him, anyway. Oh, Lord. All right, what do we got here? All right, this he's got some tow missiles. We're gonna grab the tow, tell him to engage with that. We'll watch this engagement. Oh, while we're waiting on this, let's make sure we have planes going towards these warehouses. We have Nightmare Flight for Cap. Nightmare 3 is the bombing. Yes, they have the bombs. So let's grab Nightmare 3 and tell them to get their rear end. Aha! We have lots up here. This is cool. All right, so we're going to... something's over here. Let's keep VQ5 going. I want to know what that is. And then we're going to watch the rocket. It's a tow missile attack. The target he has is the dead in the water. Go fast. We don't need no stinking guns. Yeah, we just need missiles, right? I know. Huh. All right, I got something in my eyeball there. Ugh. Better. Oh, and I meant to ask you, boy, I promised you guys this at the beginning. So, in the chat, I know a lot of you, especially on the Twitter side of the house, are former military, maybe even current military, and you have your opinions. And if you have any operational knowledge, do not post that here. But if you don't have that and you have an opinion as to what is going to happen with the U.S. Navy, the U.S. Marine Corps, and the Venezuelans coming up, say, this weekend, please put it in the chat because I'm interested to see other opinions. I'm demonstrating what I think could happen. I doubt if even this much action actually happens. I am curious as to what we're going to do with the oil rigs. Will we let them continue to operate? That guy became an astronaut for a second. Did you see him? We yeeted his butt into space. Anyway. Yeah, just going to put that in the chat and then we'll talk about it. I really don't need to tell anybody with operational knowledge not to put that in the chat, but I'm doing that to kind of cover my butt too, you know. Those people already know not to say that stuff. Clear and present danger. Oh, you think like special operations? You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the SEALs... We know... Okay, so I started the stream off saying I know, or I believe, I should be careful. I believe... and I don't know, that we have special operations on the west side of Guyana, CIA assets there too. And we've had them since 2003, 2023, 2024, from December to February is when that began in that window. And I think they're still there now. So as far as SEAL teams and support facilities, I'm talking about barracks, place to clean your guns, place to launch operations into Venezuela, that already exists infrastructure-wise. So I would not be surprised if some special operations may already be happening. You know, you never know with that. There's no timeline on that, you know. And that's what this base here is simulating. Oh, where's that? Not that one. This one down here. This little truck. This is simulating our CIA friends in here. Yeah. They're like, listen, we got you a little airstrip. Have a blast, you know. Go out there and have some fun. All right, so our airborne friend here has entered the no-fly zone exclusion area. What I am going to do is I'm going to see where he's going to pop out, and I'm going to send some cap over there to intercept him. Yeah. Right about there, roughly. It's interesting how these kind of meet up. I wonder what happens right there. So what do we have? We have Tiger 5. Tiger 5 is protecting the Cobras, so I don't want to use him. And I don't think we have any more assets on the Crayola Prime. Let's see. No, we don't. So, yeah, people are refueling and rearming. We will have air assets in 3 minutes. So I will move people that way. Tell you what, let's move Hammer. And let's get him up to a flank bell. Let's make sure the whole, the whole fleet has the same order. Yeah, he's speeding up. Now, you can't recover aircraft at a flank bell. All right, so he's over where the plane went down. I don't see anything in the water. Too bad. I'll have him go to base. We'll have to slow down to recover the aircraft, but I wonder, can I reach that far with a missile? We do have the medium range SM2s. Oh, that's a beautiful sound. Yeah, it's right at the edge of our missile range, so I'll do a salvo too to make sure we get them. Okay. So this little plinking of the go fast and the ships like the fishing boats that are they've got some fish on board, but more cocaine than fish. Those types of operations could go on for months. So real world, you know, Iwo Jima's off the coast doing its thing. Nobody's going ashore at any point. Matter of fact, they're probably not even breaking the 12-mile limit for just to make things easy legally from a legal perspective. And then as these little go fast come out beyond that limit, that's when they're going to intercept them. And the submarine is there. The submarine has a very important role, and that's really to help identify like the fishing boats from the fishing boats with the cocaine. Acoustically, the sonar techs play a role in that. I would say it's a secondary role, maybe even a trinary role or like a third tier role, because you can get a lot more information much faster from ESM and then radar. Behavior is a big clue. So we're nowhere near the top of the food chain, but we are definitely in the chain of information for what that's worth. If everything else fails, what sonar got, you know? You can think of it that way. We're certainly not the first choice. Oh, look at that. What you doing up there? On our way to intercept this airplane, we'll probably figure out... Oh, it says merchant. If it's a merchant, it's probably not a cargo ship full of cocaine. That would be ridiculous. We'll probably check them out, though. Where's my flight of 2 at? Are they right here? There they are. All right, let's send these guys home. These guys have done a good job. Orders, RTB. These are little Cobra airships that help take out the production facilities. Hello, orders, return to base. Yep. Nightmare 3. Oh, yeah, he's going up to relieve. Let me double check that. Nightmare 3, you're cap, right? Oh, no, these guys have our bombs. That's right. Because I had messed up the other one. That. So Nightmare 3, let's make sure he's going all the way, right? Yes. Huh. So we got to be careful that VQ5 does not cross that line. So let's give him a hard stop here. And he'll just do a racetrack right there. Everybody's going back to base. And here's Shadow. Let's go and reposition Shadow to the north. There might be some production up here, so we should verify that. This is very mountainous territory. You know, radar's not going to see it. You're going to come over a mountain ridge and see the facility and be like, oh, there it is. You know, so we got to fly up here and just cover all bases. Oh, yeah, here we go. Why are you not shooting? So let's use your Zuni rockets. Let's use all 8 on this chucklehead. See if you can hit a target. This is a very slow fishing boat. You should be able to hit them. Damn. That's a big explosion for a Zuni. How about you? You missed. Come on, man. People are watching. Here, try one more time. There you go. Nice. Yeah, okay, there you go. He's still rocket qualified after that. Yeah. This guy's got 4 rockets. Okay. Job done. Go home. So in this little fishing fleet, we found 6 smuggling boats. And that is what's going to happen, is they're going to be in with the legitimate civilians trying to run their drugs. And you just need to watch how they behave. Obviously, the go fast stand out like a sore thumb because they're going 40 freaking knots. Nobody's fishing at 40 freaking knots unless you're an absolute Chad. And I want to meet that guy. But other than that guy, he's a drug runner. That guy probably is fishing with hand grenades if he's doing 40 knots. What are these guys? Oh, yeah, providing cap. All right, I think cap is time to go. How much fuel do you have? Yeah, not a lot. So we'll send Spade 3 back. Oh, can we send him home? Is there an RTB command for the whole flight? They should add that if there's not. Spacing. Huh, okay. It's not a big deal. We'll just tell them one at a time. Orders. Go home. Same with you. You could probably just tell flight lead to go home. I'm sure his wingman would follow him. But there you go. All right, so we're done with that facility, and I'm interested to see what this is. We have cap overhead. Let's take a look down from the cap and see what we see. Should be a bunch of buildings. There's an airstrip. Okay, so we found the airstrip. Just a whole lot of jungle. Some buildings right there. Well, yeah, there are buildings everywhere. Oh, there's a city right there. How about that? Or a town, whatever. So don't hit that. What direction is the town in? 270. Don't go west. Oh, that's probably what that is. I bet you that's a town right there. Why would a town have a radar? I don't know. Listen, man, I just work here, okay? Let's go. Let's do a low pass, see if they got any small arms. I really don't expect them to have any kind of anti-air anything, honestly. No one is fishing submerged. Yeah. We definitely turned those guys into submarines. So it'll be interesting to see if the Coast Guard's going to get involved in this. Like, if they're not going to make it like a military operation legally, they need to get the Coast Guard down there if they're going to do drug ops. Because you cannot use military, or you're not supposed to use military, I should say, to intercept and enforce a law. Oh, crap. Okay. The game was saving right there. I thought it crashed. It was just a save. So if it does crash, we can come back to this point. Fishing boats do certainly behaviors on what they're fishing for. Makes patterns in the radar history easy to spot. Yes, especially if they're doing that trawling. That stands out too. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Captain Wrecked. All right, so we didn't receive any fire on our low pass, so I think everything's copacetic here. So that's definitely some warehouses. They even got a crane. This is a pretty fancy facility for storing some coke. Like, in reality, it's probably just a shed. It's probably got the logo Ted's on the side. Ted's Sheds. I shouldn't make that joke because that's a real company. So, yeah. Sorry, Teds. They're like, don't talk about our product on your silly drug game. Oh, I'm making it worse by giving them a silly voice now, too. Jeez. Find Maduro's bunker. That would be a good objective, yeah. We got kind of the opposite for this scenario. It was don't go west of this line, right? It was like draw a 55 nautical mile exclusion area around the capital and then extend that southeast, right? Do not cross that line because that's where a lot of their militaries are. Now, if they come out after us, that's a different thing, but I expect, and I'm the one that made this scenario, so I know how it ends. In reality, I expect the Air Force probably to stay grounded. I don't think they'll even challenge the United States Marine Corps F-35s. I really don't. And I am saying that as a biased American, absolutely, but I'm also right. Oh, crap. We lost track. How in the world did that happen? Okay. Oh, did he already leave? Oh, crap. We have to get our Hornets. Hornet. I wish we had Hornets. Let's get our Harriers up. We should have 2, right? Please tell me we have 2. We do. Launch. And we're going to race these guys as fast as they'll go, which is not that fast. Basically to this point, maybe to this point, and try to find that stupid aircraft. He was at 1,000 feet, right? So we'll put our boys at like 3,000. Actually, you would want to be below him looking up in the daytime. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll put him at the same altitude. Okay. Well, we can watch these air ops happen. I love how they animated the little elevators and stuff. It's so cool. Good job. Good job, Triassic Games. He made a great game. Did good. I also got into Command Modern Operations over the weekend. Finally, after 20 years of you guys asking for that game, I'm learning it. I think it would be boring to stream, but maybe we'll try it once and see if you guys like it. You may have no idea what's going on in that game. If you're not a military guy that works in the operations, you know, I don't want to say room, but has the knowledge of what operations on a map look like, that game will not make any sense to you. I'll be explaining everything. Like here you can see it's a boat with a plane, right? You don't get that in that game. You get a symbol for a boat and a symbol for a plane, you know, and then a dream, you know. Let Aaron explain everything else, you know. It's a fun game, don't get me wrong, and it's very accurate in terms of like simulating missile impacts and stuff. Oh, it's so good. It's really, really good. But not that entertaining to watch. Which is why I haven't streamed it ever. Okay, you guys need to turn and burn. Yeah, get out and push. That's probably a better way to put it. If you had a co-pilot, you'd put him outside. Or no, you would have left him at home so you didn't have to carry his weight around. Because these poor things, they're not fast. Yeah, they're just not fast. I mean, our kids, no way. It says it can break Mach. No, it can't. The Harrier's not a supersonic fighter. What? All right. Listen. I don't make the rules. Let's do it. Oh, that blue circle's going to shrink so fast. The blue circle is his fuel endurance, and he's burning it. He's just shoveling it into the engine as fast as it'll take it, because we're going to try and catch this plane before it leaves the area. So we're going to go to there, and if we don't see him, we're going to go to kind of like backtrack that direction. I can't believe radar doesn't have this plane. This is not a stealthy plane, and that's an Aegis freaking radar. Yeah, it's Spy 1D. It's probably baseline 4, maybe 5. But it still should see that plane. If it was today, like today, they have baseline 9 on those, and the Arleigh Burke Flight 3 has baseline 10. That's badass. It's also got the Spy 6 radar on it, which is why it's got baseline 10. My point is, The Aegis system can definitely see a Beechcraft at 1,000 feet at... Oh, God. How far is it? I'm not going to say the real range. I'm just going to say this range. Yeah, it's only 80 miles away. Come on. Come on, game. I can hear the collective holding of breath every time I throw out a number on what these capabilities are. I get it, guys. It's okay. Everything's going to be fine. What's Shadow doing? Oh, yeah, I'm repositioning him. I forgot about that. Okay, everybody's going back to base. Good, good. Aha! Okay, so this is going to be interesting. We don't want to use all of our bombs at once. Let's go Nightmare 3. Our targets are dead ahead. Yeah, that's the warehouses, and somewhere over there is a, what do you call it, airfield. Is this just a 2-ship? Yeah, that's all I had left. So we're going to break them up. We don't have enough ordnance for all the targets. So we'll drop a couple bombs on that warehouse. Flight lead will drop his bombs on this warehouse. And then we'll watch the fireworks happen. Should be a big poof of white come up out of these. Oh, there's the airstrip, and there's the... You know what we can do? We can send some Tomahawks after the airstrip. The Tomahawk is a very good weapon to use against airfield. Who got hit? Somebody got hit over here. I see smoke. All right, so we got one of the warehouses. Well, pull it up. Pull it up. Wow, he's got like leaves and branches in his teeth now. Yeah, he's going to come back with souvenirs. A couple scratches. Yeah, he's going to be telling that story over and over again to the girls at the bar. All right. Tomahawk time. Now, we're not shooting a Tomahawk through an exclusion area. That's something else you got to take in. A no-go zone means no-go for everything, including weapons. We don't want to hit a 3-story building that's in the Capitol. I think that's as tall as our buildings get. Yeah. Maybe 4-story? Yeah. I'll round up and say 5. I don't want a Tomahawk hitting the freaking building. I don't want that. Have to explain that. Okay. Here you go, boys. How many? We got 32 Tomahawks. Get some. How am I going to do this? Click. Let's go with engage. Tomahawk, land attack Tomahawk specifically. Salvo of 16. Let's put 16 on the airfield. That should be more than enough. We haven't seen any indication of air defense, so I don't expect any of these to get shot down. You know, we might get a mechanical failure in one. It does happen sometimes, but it's really rare. All right, so while that's happening, let's pick your buddy over here and let's get him in on some of the action. Everybody wants to get a ribbon today, so everybody's going to get a combat ribbon. We're going to hit the warehouse we haven't hit yet. So while he's doing his thing back there, we're going to do our thing up here. Had a tree strike, yeah. I know that's what he's having the debrief with the crew chief on the ground. The freaking branches sticking out of the wings. Yeah, the flaps don't work anymore. Yeah, there's like a bird's nest up by the pilot. Yeah. He's bringing home parrots. I feel like the model could use a little bit of a HD touch-up because it's got the shape of a Flight 1 Burke, but you know we could use I don't know, just a little more detail, I guess. There's a lot of other stuff to fix in the game before they do that, though. Jive, they're communist. It wouldn't be a war crime. Oh, jeez. I'm not going to get into that. Listen. I just hope everybody's okay. Listen. I don't want anybody to get hurt. Yeah, we got to get the drugs. Get the drugs. Save the people on the boats. Because those poor guys are literally just trying to earn money for their family. Yeah, they live in a very poor country. They're trying to earn a living. Yeah, it's not legal. I get it. Yeah. I just have sympathy for the guys. Because they're in a tough situation living in Venezuela. The economy there is shot. It's so bad. And they have a lot of oil. They should have tons of money. I don't want to get into that either. There's no excuse for them to not be just as rich as Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. They should be the Saudi Arabia of South America. So I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason why they're not. I don't know what it is. I know everybody in chat's gonna be like, communism. Yeah. And then what? Capitalism's corrupt too. Communism doesn't have a, it's very different, obviously, than capitalism, but I said I wouldn't get into it. I spent 5 minutes talking about it. It wasn't 5 minutes. All right. So we got a little missile strike coming in. Not violating any kind of no-go zone. We got BDA overhead. Once these missiles, and we see what's left, I may divert Nightmare Flight 1 to the city over there just to see something is over there radiating. It could be like a simple civilian radio station, right, broadcasting their music. Or it could be a radar. It could be an S-300. So we just need to know what the hell it is. It's not an S-300 or else they'd be shooting us down. Yeah. I mean, I got a VQ-5 right overhead. So it's probably not a SAM. But it is transmitting something. Oh, crap. All right, so these guys are running out of fuel. That's fine. You know what? Because we can't do anything with this oil rig right now, I'll have the whole flight come home. RTB. Return to base. And we'll deal with that if we get the orders to do something. Oh, what the hell happened here? Did that plane turn? Oh, the plane that was coming up here went this way. I bet you somebody got on the radio with him and was like, hey, don't go out there. Bad things just happened to everybody that goes 12 miles off the shore for some reason. It's like a ghost story now. People are like, listen, I'm not superstitious, but every time we go that direction, we don't come back. What happened? All right. So I think that's who that is. I'm still going to fly up to here. There could still be somebody up here. Maybe somebody new. We're going to check it out. And we'll keep an eye on him. Corruption, despotism for sure. Yeah. I mean, the thing about criticizing anything is that I feel like I'm throwing stones in a glass house. We've got issues too. And so every time I say something negative about a different style of leader, government, whatever, anybody that is on that side of the argument coming back at me can be like, hey, look in the mirror, right? Look in Washington. Washington is a cesspool, man. Cesspool. I went there a couple of years ago. I spent about a week in Washington, D.C. The egos of the assistants, the people that help the congressmen and senators, those people are more divas than any movie star that I've ever seen. And it's very consistent. I would love to say it's not all of them, but it appears to be all of them. Yeah. The diva mentality in Washington, D.C. is rampant. And that's just the beginning of the problems. On top of that, they're corrupt and always leaking things to journalists for clout. And then we raid their home with the FBI and send them to jail. Has John Bolton been arrested yet? That man better leave the freaking country. I don't know where he'd go. Yeah, he's on the clock, literally. His number's coming up. We got a couple of Tomahawks remaining, 16 remaining. Let's put 16 on this other one. I wonder what kind of defense John Bolton's going to use to justify the documents that they most certainly will find at his residence and his place of work. I'm convinced that he's going to be guilty of possession of classified material at some level. I'll have to wait and see what it actually is, obviously. But I'll tell you what, we can flip that around talking about Mr. John Bolton, or is it ambassador? I think you're supposed to address him as ambassador. We'll address him by his proper title, because that's the right thing to do. But politicians in general are very good about explaining why they have what they have in terms of classified documents. So, or an email server that they're not supposed to have. Yeah. So he may get out of it, but one thing I'm convinced of personally, my opinion, is that they're going to find something at his house or his place of work or both. And then we'll see what the courts do with it. I don't know. He's not a dumb man. So I'm sure he's got some kind of plan, some kind of backup, excuse, whatever you want to call it. I don't like the man, but he's not stupid. Capitol Hill, you're not wrong. Yeah, anybody that's worked or spent any time around congressmen. Now, I kind of expect a congressman to have some kind of ego, because to run for a public election, you have to have some kind of ability to talk about yourself and feel good about yourself and confidence. And so that's to be expected. Plus, they do hold a position of power. They've earned the right, in my opinion, to have an ego. It is the assistants that shocked me. Somebody that works for a congressman. If you ever meet one of them, you'll know it, because they're going to fucking tell you. Yeah. It's kind of like Tesla owners. If you know somebody that has a Tesla, you know, because they told you. That may not be true anymore. It's kind of embarrassing to have a Tesla right now, isn't it? That's kind of changed. Yeah. Goss says, your great aunt was a civilian employee at the Pentagon. Pardon me. Well, I'm glad she worked there. That's pretty cool. He continues to say she retired in the 90s. She met a USAF captain on a cruise that was bragging about working at the Pentagon. He was bugging her, so she wasn't quiet about most of the captains she's met. It's gonna go. Oh, I see. She let him know that she works there too. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't have that kind of clout. I couldn't say that because it's not true. I'd be like, hey, I was on a submarine. Yeah, that's about the end of my story. Yeah. I got a YouTube page. Like and subscribe. Oh yeah. All right, let's see how this airplane goes. If he leaves this zone, I'm gonna hammer him. Ha. Let's take a formation hammer, and let's bring you guys down this way, because he is going to the west. He may be going to what's the city here? There's a city with a naval port right there. Somebody Google it, please, or I'll Google it. I'll do my job. I'm sorry. Don't tell chat to do your job, Aaron. That was like one of the feedbacks I got from my little review. They're like, listen, we know you're too lazy to have a real job. That's why you're on YouTube. I was like, you're not wrong. So I got to bring up map. I wonder if Google Maps has Venezuela. What mapping software would have another country besides the United States? I mean, there's probably one that has Europe, because that's kind of important. Nobody's going to have Venezuela. I'll check Google Maps. We'll see if that has it. Okay. Glad I didn't show that on stream. That was my house. They'd been like, oh, he lives there. Don't come visit me. That was very weird. We did have a fan. This is 2017, 2018. We had a fan. I guess lived in Florida, near where I lived, or was passing by. Decided to come to my house. My wife answered the door and scared the crap out of her. So don't do that, okay? That's weird. I like you guys, but please don't visit me. All right. It's called Playa Sorinza. Playa Sorinsa. I'm probably saying that wrong. Oh, here we go. How do we say it? Do I turn volume up? Let's try that again. Okay, what she said. That's where we're going. Well, that's where the airplane's probably going. So as soon as he leaves the exclusion zone, we're going to try and nail him before he lands there. Turns out Google Maps has Venezuela. Didn't know that. Don't know why. Oh, I'm going to get a lot of mail for that. Oh, you guys are just going to be so mad at me. Everybody in Venezuela, well, they don't have internet. They can't send me any messages. Ha ha. Take that. They're not going to have any internet after Friday. Well, no, I take all that back. Never mind. Things are not going to get to that level. I really don't see that. I genuinely do not see that happening. Let's tell him to RTB. So we have a lot of Tomahawks coming in. Going to finish those guys off. Nightmare 1's going to make sure everything's destroyed. And if it is, we're going to put eyeballs on these. These three things are emitting. Oh, no. Okay, one thing is emitting a radar emission, an electromagnetic emission. It's very low power. And then there's some radar returns there. Probably some buildings or something. And we did see a city or like a village off in that direction. So. Oh, yeah. And then Shadow Flight's up here. He's looking for more production facilities. So in the mountains. We'll see what he finds. Probably nothing. Triptych, yeah. If he stays over the coast of Venezuela airspace. Oh, that's right. Would we engage a drug runner over mainland? Well, we have already. It was over the jungle, though. Well, yeah, you wouldn't shoot down a plane over a city. No, that would not be good. Oh, crap. We lost him. Yeah, he may have already landed. Who knows? Let's not assume that. Ah, crap. Where's Tiger Flight at? This is Tiger 1, right? Tiger 1, where you at? Okay, Tiger 1 Flight. You come over here. Are you guys still doing Mach 1? That is so funny that... I'm definitely going to look this up after the stream. I'm pretty sure the Harrier is a subsonic plane, right? I'm highly confident of that. Oh, my word. Let's make sure everybody's got the right speed order. Yeah, they do. Okay. In this scenario, you built yourself, or can I download it? Yeah, I only built this myself. I don't have any triggers or Intel windows, so it's not ready to be shared. Yeah, I just threw down some units where we could attack them, and I could talk about what I think is going to happen this weekend. I was like, it's either going to be this or something less than what we've seen today. I picked the most extreme example that I could think would realistically happen, just to make it entertaining. So we don't sit there and watch Iwo Jima dead in the water conduct a swim call, because that could realistically be what the Marines do this Saturday. A whole lot of nothing. I would put that at like 50% too. But if it's not that, we could be doing anybody coming out of that 12-mile limit gets inspected, gets detained, I guess. I'm very excited to see in real life, not the game, what the rules of engagement are. What is the mission? What are we going to do? I can't believe they put assets down in the direction, made that public, by the way. Like the White House chose to, and the Pentagon chose to make that public, and then not say what they were going to do other than, commonly spoken drug ops. Okay. There's like another term for it, but there's no Coast Guard attachment. How are you going to do drug ops without the Coast Guard? You ain't doing it legally by international law. Now that's never stopped us before. Woo, not going there. Okay. Yeah, leave that alone. Hey, here we go. We're gonna watch the fireworks. Man, you guys are really low. I'll tell you what, let's bring this flight up a little bit. These guys might get fragged. Holy crap. Hold on. Altitude. Make your altitude something higher than a double-digit number, please. Navigate. Altitude. 1,000 feet. 1,000 feet is still pretty low, but most of these are Charlie Tomahawks with the bomblets. They're not going to blow fragmentation 1,000 feet in the air. If these were the big boy, 1,000 pound bombs, warheads, that'd be a different story. But I'm basically putting cluster munitions all over the runway up here. Why did you guys not change altitude? Oh, wow, that's 1,000 feet. Never mind. That is not, I guess, yeah, it kind of does. Just had a bad perspective. All right, so the runway here is going to get hit first. Probably the control tower, too. The cool thing about command modern operations is you can target specific areas of the runway, the hangars individually. Yeah, it's very detailed. A very good game. Highly recommended if you are experienced in military lingo, symbols, operational maps, operation maps. If you can read a map in the military, that game is really for you. If you can't, I recommend this game instead, so you have a 3D view. You can kind of see what's going on. I hear explosions to the left. Something blowing up over here? I mean, that is a target, but they shouldn't be here yet. Yeah, something over here is blowing up, unless I got my headphones on backwards. Oh, no, there it is. Cool. Yeah. That's funny as hell. Captain Rex says any airframe can go supersonic once. Yeah, that's true, I guess. Yeah. It's like when people ask me how deep can a submarine dive, I'm like, all the way to the bottom, baby. Oh, yeah, it can go all the way down to the bottom. The same with the ship too, They don't like it when I answer it that way, so I don't do that. But I think that answer. So this is a much more realistic attack. If they were to authorize to destroy production facilities, which I think is completely reasonable, we wouldn't use F-35s. We would not put a pilot over Venezuela for any reason. Guyana's for sure. Colombia too. We have good relations with both those countries, more so with Guyana. And plus Guyana is on the eastern side of Venezuela, and that's where I think a lot of the drug production is over on the eastern side. You could argue it's all over the country, and you'd be right, but... Oh, the airfield's toast. Nice. Yeah, we killed the airfield with cluster munitions. But yeah, sending Tomahawks into Venezuela. They do have the S-300. The S-300 is more than capable of shooting down a Tomahawk if it can detect it. The advantage the Tomahawk has is that it's skimming. It's very low to the ground. So if they just keep it away from the S-300 fire control radar, it won't be able to illuminate the target for the missile. And that's where war planning comes in. And that's where, if you like stuff like that, Command Modern Operations does that type of simulation. It's tight. It's fun, too, if you understand what's going on. Let's see. Vulcan Rider says, every takeoff is optional, but landing is mandatory. Yes. And I think you're using the term landing very loosely, right? Oh yeah, the Harpoon 1997, called Harpoon 97, is for sale on Steam now. I've got it in my cart. I'm gonna buy it. I just didn't have. I just didn't click buy yet. I put it in my cart this morning. Let's see. Noah says this is from Fort Fourth Aviation Museum. They put in the tech sheet that the Harrier we have has a max speed of 731. Which that might be at sea level. Is that might be the speed of sound? It's pretty close, I think, right? This one has max speed of 635, and the game calls that Mach 1. So yeah, okay. Hey, how about that? I learned something for sure. Harrier can do Mach. I mean, it's probably like shaking like a freaking, protein drink blender. It's probably not very comfortable for the pilot, but he's probably grinning ear to ear knowing the pilots I know if they're doing Mach. Yeah. He's probably a very happy pilot at that moment. Right before his plane falls apart. Oh my gosh. Here comes the other one. All right, I'm going to step away for just a second while this attack happens. And I'll put the camera on the target so you don't miss anything. And we're going to be looking north where the harpoons are harpoons. The Tomahawks are going to hit here and hit the one on the right. I'll be right back. Where'd he go? Ooh, we got technology. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Bitches, hello. How you doing? How you doing? What'd I miss? Anything? I don't see any smoke yet. Where's my missiles at? Oh, there we go. Oh, Fort Worth. Okay. Oh, are they considering a Harpoon 97 abandonware? Because I think Microprose owns the license now. I think Microprose is selling it on Steam. So yeah, I'll give Microprose $7 or whatever. I want them to make more games. Right now they're planning on publishing a lot of very old games. So like from like the early 2000s era, and those are okay. They're not great, but they're okay. I think some of them I might have on GOG maybe. The big thing is they'd better make sure they run on modern Windows 11, 10 and 11. That's the nice thing about GOG is that's kind of what GOG does, is make sure old games work on modern hardware. That's the service. Plus there's no DRM, which is nice. I don't pirate games, so I don't care about DRM at all. But I do care if a game works. And that's what's nice about. I know whenever I buy a game on GOG, 99 out of 100 times it's going to work. Running them, yeah, running through DOSBox is, I think that's the way GOG does it too, I think. But it launches DOSBox and configures it for you. All you got to do is hit the button. That's the way I like it. I don't want to mess around with any of that settings stuff. I know what an IRQ is. I don't want to set the IRQ. It's taking a lot of Tomahawks to take out these warehouses. This is like a whole campus. So I wonder if you let it burn long enough, if it will just, you know, burn down. We'll find out together. We are going to head over and check out that radio signal to the west. All right. And then we'll come back here and see if there's any buildings left. See if fire spreads. All right, Nightmare Flight 1. Oh, these guys are almost out of fuel. Son of a gun. Oh, well. All right. Send them home. Matter of fact, the wingman already went home. Shoot. Okay. We'll have to launch another one. He's landing. He's not doing nothing. All right, so we got a bunch of planes ready again. Let's go with strike. Let's take 4 if I can. Yeah, there we go. Let's launch all 4 of these. So instead of calling them Tiger, let's call them Lusty. Okay. Whatever. I don't choose the names. Because we still got to bomb these warehouses some more. They're still not gone. And that plane, yeah, I guess the plane landed because I don't. So who's this? Let's figure out who that is. He's doing 492 knots. Wow, that might be a military plane, maybe. Oh, Tiger Flight's going home. Oh crap! Are they going to go through the exclusion zone? Why? No. Ah, they're going to break the rules. See, this is why we can't have nice things, Tiger Flight 1. Tiger Flight 1's going to break the rules of engagement. And we're going to lose points. And we're going to have a safety brief. Because you guys can't plan your flight properly. I feel like I'm yelling at myself because I did all that. Shoot. All right, fine. Got my eyeballs on you, Tiger Flight. Who are these guys? I want call signs. I want a pilot's name. Who's the name? Yeah, you should have your name on your cockpit. VMA 542. Okay. Is that a bobcat? Some kind of fancy cat. You guys about to break the rules. Anyway. RTB automatically before running out of fuel. Yeah, they do RTB automatically. That's what happened there. And obviously for bingo fuel, they take the most direct flight home. So what I should have done is told them to navigate north of the exclusion zone before they ran out of fuel or got to bingo level. And then they just would have gone this way. So, but yeah, I'll lose points for that. We should probably think about turning the San Juan around. Let's do this. Yeah. Also, something I didn't consider is where's the 12-mile limit at? Okay, this is a 12-mile circle. So yeah, I'm well outside the 12-mile limit. Let's just make sure we stay that way. Yeah. We're kind of in the middle here. We'll leave this right there. Make sure I don't violate it. All right, I'll turn hammer group around again. I think we just missed out on that airplane. I think it landed right there. So there was an airplane in the very beginning that went north. We don't know what he was. He might not have been a drug plane, but the one down here definitely was a drug plane. And we just missed our opportunity to take them out. You run free BSD or Linux. I don't do either one of those, Vulcan. Oh, wow. You're saying you use that because you use DOSBox. Why would you? Well, I suppose, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's grab our flight that should be taking off right now. Let's compress a little bit of time here. We're waiting on the next Harrier flight to get off the deck. Then we're going to grab it and go north with it. There they are. A 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. Okay. They're all in the air. Let's grab them, tell them to go to 6,000 feet. And then we're going to see what the heck this is. All right, yeah, we're just going to compress a lot of time because we've basically got one more goal to do. That's to identify these. And if they're not targets, which they may be, go back and finish off these warehouses. Are they still burning? Yeah, see, I think these warehouses are going to burn down. That's why I'm not spending any more expensive-ass Tomahawks on them. Like, we did a lot of damage to this place. Probably not a whole lot of fire departments in the jungle. So it's probably going to burn. So let's do this, and let's go to compression. Okay, wow, the game's going to let me go to 30x. That's nice. Wine is great. You used... oh, yeah, Wine is a... it's like an operating system, right? Am I saying that right? I've heard of it. I've never used it. I like to drink it. I do love the graphics. I think they've done a great job making the world look good. I don't know how they do the terrain. I imagine a lot of it's got to be procedural. But that's jungly enough for me, right? And there's enough variation so it's not all the same tiles. Yeah, like you got this little swampy area there. You got some trees down here, but not there. Yeah. Oh, crap. They're already here. Okay, let's go down and take a look at... This is our new Harrier flight. Our target is... We just passed over our target. How did we not identify the target? Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like, the planes, anything above like 3,000 feet, they see nothing on the ground, apparently. Even if it's like a village, which makes no sense. All right. I know I complained about that earlier. I won't complain about that anymore. It's part of the game. Go down to 500 feet. And figure out who's below us, besides a whole lot of trees. Oh, wait, we did see one. What's this? Now, that's not a radio station. What the hell? That looks like a TPS. What is this? Yeah, it is. That's a TPS. That's an American radar. So Venezuela in the 1980s, early 80s, I guess had good relations with the United States because we did sell them a couple of TPS-63 radars. This is one of them. Not a target. That is a Venezuelan military radar. Our rules of engagement are not to engage their military anything. Assets, vehicles, people, chain of command. That's not the goal. What's this? Aha! Now, on the other hand, this does look like a civilian radio station, but for whatever reason, it is a target. So, yeah, here you go. Have a nice 2,000-pound bomb buster. Look at these guys. Oh, yeah. They're going to get some. I got to get some. You. Engage with Mark 82. All right. We're just going to peel off one plane. I don't want all four planes attacking this dumb thing. There it goes. Okay. Don't run into the antenna. Oh, thank God. Okay, went through. Uh-oh. All right. He was probably too low to the ground. He's 500 feet. If he drops a 2,000-pound bomb from 500 feet, he will blow up the earth and himself, and he will be scattered all over the jungle. I'm so glad he didn't drop the bomb there. Now, let's see if he opens range, turns around, and gets up to at least 1,000 feet, if not 2,000 feet. 2,000-pound bomb, 2,000 feet. That's my rule of thumb. And the whole flight better not drop bombs. Come on. I said one. I gave this mission to one plane. Okay, there we go. Oh, there. Comms site. Oh, that's directional radar right there. Yeah. All right, let's bomb that. Let's take his wingman with a Mark 82. Uh-oh. Hello? Yeah, bomb that. Put a couple bombs on this thing. All right, Lusty 1-3 is turning around. He's still at 500 feet. Okay. He had better pop up. Or don't drop the bomb. One or the other. We'll see what he does here. I'm not going to fly the plane for you, man. I just give you the target. You figure the rest out. Double kill. That's true. Yeah, you get double points if you take out the target and yourself, right? I mean, I don't know who gets the points. Maybe your wingman gets them if he survives. Yeah. Oh, okay. He's popping up. Hey, this is looking good. He's being smart. Yeah, he's popping way up. He's like, listen, this is a big bomb. He's at like, what's his altitude? 4,000 feet, coming down to 3,000 for release. I'll zoom in a little bit. Oh, someone just dropped a bomb on it. Uh-oh. Oh, we're watching this is the comm center. That comm center went away. Oh, Jesus. Bye-bye. Yeah. I'd love it if the antennas fell down. That'd be awesome. Okay, so that's one down. Those guys are going home because they're Winchester. So let's take the rest of the flight. Lusty 1. And let's move them up a little bit in altitude. I think that's kind of messing with their ability to fight. So I'm gonna bring them up to 1,000 feet, which is still too low, I think. And then we're gonna have them. I'm gonna tell the wing leader to attack, and I bet his wingman does as well, because they should mimic each other. And you change that right here, by the way. Individual, follow leader, synchronized. Synchronized would be kind of cool, but I've already given the order. I'm not going to change it. And there's the tower. We're going to bomb that. I wonder if this tower will fall over. So we're dropping a total of 6 2,000-pound bombs on this thing. It is more than enough to do the job. That's a miss. How the hell you miss with 2,000-pound bomb? Both of you. I mean, you got the building. I'll give you that. That's because of 2,000 pounds. Good Lord. Well, you got credit for the kill anyway. I guess getting the building was more important than the actual antenna array. Yeah. This is why we give them the big bomb. So if they're a little bit off on the bullseye, they still get the kill, you know. All right. I think we're good. I think that's it. Guys are going home, right? Oh, shoot. We got this right here. I forgot. I should have saved some bombs for that. All right. Let's move our spy plane overhead. And let's take a look at our... They're still on fire, but they're also still alive. So let's finish it off. I want to get maximum points, because we're going to lose a couple points because those chuckleheads flew through the exclusion area. Like a bunch of bimbos. Oh, we don't have any more... oh, Jesus. We don't have any more Tomahawks. All right, let's get a flight of, how many can we get? 4. Flight of 4 with some bombs on it. And launch them. And we'll finish this guy off. All right, so Shadow did his pattern. I don't see any assets up there. I'm pretty sure this these warehouses are going to be the end. Just wipe them out. Do we have any fueled Harriers? My little Cobras can't make it all the way to the target. Excuse me. Okay, I do. I got 4. Let's make sure they bring bombs. And 4 of them. Bombs. All right. So whenever those guys are in the air, it'll be a race to see who can get to the target first, I guess. Compress a little bit of time. All right, so they're taking off from the boat. This airbase should already have them airborne, I would think. Yeah, there they are. Let's double check, make sure they're in the sky. Oh no, they're just getting on the radar, or on the runway rather, radar. Hey, good afternoon there, Narwhal. Good to see you, sir. Narwhal's fellow submariner. He was on the Narwhal, a very special sub. Feels like a Venezuelan drug radio station. Sounds like a Robin Williams. Oh, and Good Morning Vietnam. Yeah, yeah. I like that movie. Robin Williams had a couple good movies. He also had a couple stinkers too. But Jumanji, I like that for because he was playing a playful character. Good Morning Vietnam got dark, but there was also a lot of good comedy. It was both. Yeah. Robin Williams, man, such a talented guy, but he was also a conflicted person. And that's so sad. A lot of the most entertaining people are entertaining because they've learned to cope with problems. And I think that was one of the reasons why he was as good as he was and as funny as he was, because he had to develop that skill set just to survive, which is really sad. Very sad. But a lot of people, a lot of the best comedians are troubled individuals, like off stage, you know. That's not limited to comedians either. Entertainment people, yeah. Jim Belushi, probably one of the funniest people of his time. Physical comedy, back when physical comedy was in, he was very good at it. Oh man, we lost him way too soon. Very sad. His Samurai Sushi, or Sushi Samurai, on Saturday Night Live had me rolling. Granted, I was very young, but still so funny. I mean, my God, it probably doesn't hold up now because it is physical comedy, and that's kind of fallen out of favor. But if you can put your mindset in the 1970s when that was being aired live, oh, it's so good. So good. All right, we're going to compress some time. Wow, let's not compress that much time. Just sent my guys into some kind of hyperspace. Yeah, so we'll see if we get this kind of action in Venezuela in reality over the weekend. Probably not even this much, like I said. This is like probably the outer extreme of what would really happen. Like I said, there's more than a 50% chance, in my opinion, that nothing happens. I've learned that lesson. Oh, geez. Hold on. Why does this warehouse keep moving? Okay. Warehouse should not be moving. We're sure it's a warehouse, right, boys? All right. I got 3 warehouses assigned to 3 planes. Flight lead is going to pick up anything that survives this attack. We'll see what happens. So we got 1, 2, 3 in a little triangle there. Straight ahead. Chris Farley. Yep, John Candy, Chris Farley. I don't know if John Candy was troubled, but he did struggle with eating, right? He was a big guy his whole life. But who was the other one? Chris Farley, yeah. Chris Farley, I think a lot of people saw it coming. I was old enough to kind of see that something wasn't right, even though I'd never, of course, met the man or knew him personally. But something was not in control in his life. More than one thing, probably. And he died. I think it was a drug overdose. Very sad. Whoa. He's got some tree branches in his flaps too now. Yeah. Souvenirs. Hey, that did it too. All right, so flight lead can bomb the remaining warehouse, and that should be it. Let's hope we don't lose a Harrier to a ground impact incident. A lawn dart, if you will. He's already got the order to attack. So he's opening out range so he can come back in. There he goes. All right, he's rolling in. We'll watch him. Which one is it? It's going to be the one in the middle. So this one right there where my cursor's at. Yep. It was a normal house until the full moon came out. Yeah. People tend to get wild. I'm all for having fun too. Don't get me wrong. I've had my share of fun. It's sad when that happens, you know. And now you got fentanyl out there. You got to be careful with that stuff. Excuse me. You got to limit your fun because you never know what you're taking. So we're going to bomb these warehouses over here. The ones that are not on fire. Everything else is. Nice. I was hoping to catch those. Yeah, that big-ass warehouse is on fire now. Yay, and the whole site is considered destroyed. Awesome. So, good work. Let's look at the big picture. He's going home. And the only target that we're aware of is the oil rig. We never got a message to change the rules of engagement to attack it. So there's a couple of options in real life to do with like an oil rig. The one that was said in chat immediately, you guys know about this, is that we can send a SEAL team via airdrop, honestly, but that's kind of high risk for no reason. Or you could put them in a submarine, even a Virginia class has a lockout chamber. Ideally, you would want to use an SSGN, but there's no SSGN on this side of the planet. So you're not going to have that option probably. So you'll put a SEAL team in a Block 3, Block 4 Virginia, whichever one, and get them up close, middle of the night. They'll swim out, get up there, take care of business, and then they'll stay with the hostages. There's no room on the submarine for those hostages. So they'll secure the site, and then radio, come get us, send in the helicopters, pull out all the employees for the oil company that works there. Because these are Americans, and this is very real. This is one thing that I'm concerned about. Are we going to end up with hostages in Venezuela because we have an oil company running at least 2 oil rigs that I'm aware of? Could be more sites. I don't think there's more than 2 oil rigs, but there's definitely more oil sites in Venezuela that are run by a company named Chevron. They may not be the only company, by the way, but that's the one that I'm aware of. Are Venezuela going to prevent those people from leaving the oil rig? That alone detains them, making them a hostage. You know, I hope to God that doesn't happen. We will find out together this week. We will. This shit's going to go down as early as Thursday. And again, nothing may happen. What we just witnessed may happen. Kind of a limited engagement with mostly Tomahawks. They're not going to be sending F-35s over Venezuela. The oil rig is going to be a wild card. I honestly don't know where the second oil rig is. I just know that one right now. If anyone else knows, put it in the chat. But any drugs coming out of the country, airborne or seaborne, once they get past 12 miles, man, they are fair game. I would honestly expect at some point we're going to get Coast Guard involved and make it a legal apprehension of people trafficking narcotics somewhere. Of course, the United States, but it doesn't have to be the United States to be illegal. As far as the president of Venezuela goes, I don't think we go after him directly. I mean, I would be shocked if we send Tomahawks after any kind of command and control buildings, because I don't think they want to take it that far. I think a lot of this is positioning, posturing, I think. There may be some Tomahawk strikes if we get a confirmation of a production facility in the middle of the jungle, away from any kind of civilian infrastructure. So, just the people there are making the drugs. that's a legitimate target if you call it an operation. If it's got to be a military operation that's public. Otherwise, that's a problem. I don't want to get into all the legal stuff because I'm not a lawyer, but I know that if we start apprehending drugs, we'd better use the Coast Guard. I know that much. If you start blowing stuff up, that's a different story. Do we have any sea lawyers in the chat? Guys can Google the rules of war. Narco sweep USN. Yeah. Happening Thursday. Thursday's the earliest that this can begin. If they use the Iwo Jima. The Iwo Jima, I expect her to be in position to conduct something Thursday, at some point Thursday. And then, of course, anytime after that, it can happen. Again, just to repeat myself for what I said in the beginning for everyone that joined, we don't have enough assets, the ones that are made public anyway. We have 7 ships. We have what? Okay, let's go over them. We have 2 transport ships, amphibious transport ships. We have 1 Wasp class transport ship as well, but it's bigger. Right. We'll put the camera on it so you guys can see. Okay. So we got three marine carrying ships. We got one of these chuckleheads over here. See this guy? We got 2 of the same, right? These guys are going to have Ospreys, Whirlybird, vertical launch, cargo looking planes. They also carry troops, of course. They can put the striker teams come out of the back and go ashore. None of that's happening. There isn't going to be a Marine go feet dry at all. That's not why they're there, in my opinion. This is all my opinion, by the way. I don't know shit. My point is it's not enough. It's not enough to do an amphibious into another country on another continent. How are you going to support them long term? This is not Grenada. This is a fucking big, much bigger than Grenada. And Grenada had more than this support whenever we did Grenada. Okay. And that was saving some college kids was all we were doing there. Okay. So anyway, we got 3 Marine ships. I'm sure the Marines are ready to go. I mean, I get it. We got 2 Arleigh Burkes going to be protecting them whenever they get down there. These Burkes, by the way, are already off the coast of Venezuela. These 2 right here. And then there's a third one this is reality now, not the game. There's a third one over here that is with an LCS. I believe it's the Minneapolis St. Paul. So if anyone knows any crew members on that, they're serving their country next door to an Arleigh Burke. So we got 3 Burkes, an LCS, and then there's a submarine that's unnamed and will continue to be unnamed. We also don't know where it is. We just know it's part of this group that's already on site. And for the purpose of this game, I made it right here. I kind of stuck him in the middle. But definitely at periscope depth with his stuff sticking out of the water at 5 knots outside the 12-mile limit. That's what that sub's going to do the whole time. Yeah, it's very boring. God bless, it's boring. Did that for weeks, months, long time. And then, and that's really it. So we're waiting on the Iwo Jima to come out. The Iwo Jima, I was told, I haven't confirmed this, but I've been told that it left Norfolk this morning. So, it's going to come down to here. Obviously, it could take any entrance. It could come through here. It could come here. And then it's going to come, hang a right, and come through here. And then once it's in this area, who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be right here as early as Thursday. Yeah. Unless they just haul ass. I don't know what benefit that would be. If you get there Wednesday night, it doesn't change anything. Anyway. So we are going to do a Wednesday stream. We'll do something different. Maybe by Wednesday we'll know more. Because I expect the Coast Guard to be involved. I'm sure the Air Force is probably involved, but that's not public yet. And that's why I don't know, because I don't know anything. But I would be shocked if this is a Navy Coast Guard operation without any Air Force assets. Because we really need more airplanes. Iwo Jima's got airplanes. We need more airplanes. And so that's why I think we're operating out of Guyana. I know that we have assets in this country. I don't know where they are or what they are. Just know that we have them. And then Colombia, we have good terms with Colombia. So we might get some support from them. That's a possibility. There's a lot of what ifs, man. Like we're so far away from anything actually happening. You could say anything's possible. But I just gave you a little taste of what I think is going to happen at the most on the high extreme end. We'll bomb some production facilities in the jungle, a truck park like in old Vietnam days, right? Maybe the occasional radio station. Not sure why that was a target, but it was. Yeah. And then what I'm going to keep a close eye on is the oil rigs. We have Americans on those oil rigs working them as civilians. I'm concerned about those crews. I hope nothing happens to them. Hope they're okay. All right, that's my 2 cents for what that's worth. Thanks for watching. It's been fun. Got a brand new video coming out tomorrow on YouTube. The Arleigh Burke class ship brief. I break all 4 different versions, Flight 1, Flight 2, Flight 2 Alpha, and Flight 3 for you. It's about 45 minutes long, and it'll come out tomorrow. That'll be over on the Subbrief channel. Public for everybody. Have a good one. Did we just tariff Colombia? We probably did. Yeah. I don't know, guys. Listen. Have a great one. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you Wednesday. Let's get out of here.